Hello, what's up this morning, everyone? Welcome. Fine Tuesday to you all, and Ixalan spoiler day for you all. Good to see you. What is up, Vincosity, Barkmania, Fire, Lost Caverns, Secret Lizard? How is everyone doing today? So today, you're probably wondering, why are we streaming so early? Well, we're streaming so early because at noon Eastern, 1 hour and 15 minutes from now, it is Ixalan preview spoiler kickoff day. So gonna play some Bard class as we wait for spoilers, and then we'll watch the spoiler stream together, and then I'll go to a spoiler video for YouTube. So yeah, early stream so we can check out all the new Ixalan stuff. We have, oh my god, so much news. The Magic world is the wildest it has literally ever been. Like, seriously, somehow, so like Doctor Who released a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like not that long ago. It just released. Since then, we got Fallout spoilers for a set that doesn't release until February. We got an announcement that X-Men are coming to Magic, Marvel Universes Beyond. And if you read the announcement about Marvel, it sounds like this is a big one. Like, the way they just announced this in the press is like there's gonna be multiple tentpole sets. This is like a tentpole set's Lord of the Rings. That is like the full thing, modern, legal, multiple releases, commander precons. Like, Lord of the Rings was massive. This is not like some little, oh, we're gonna make a, commander precon. This is a full thing, and apparently multiple tentpole sets being released probably over the course of years. What do you think of the Marvel thing? I am so incredibly curious. Actually, let's do our reminders quick so we can start playing Magic, and then we can talk about this as we go along, because I actually want to get into some Magic before we go to the spoiler stream in an hour. So reminders, replay YouTube, this week, vital old streams, including this one to the future, normal YouTube, tons of sweet stuff going up on there. Yesterday, we did a sweet Storm Herald budget Magic. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. Of course, spoiler coverage the next couple weeks, all the Ixalan stuff. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. See affiliate code Goldfish applied. And grab Lost Caverns of Ixalan, Doctor Who, Marvel in the future, maybe this farewell with a British dude on it, all that stuff and more. Anyway, let's talk Bard Clash real quick, and I want to talk about Marvel. I got so many Marvel questions, because you know me, I'm not an X-Men guy. I'm not a Marvel guy. I'm not a superhero guy. So I need your all's help to let me know what is actually going on with this. I have so many questions for you to answer. But first, let's talk about this deck, and we can start playing Magic, and we'll talk about this as we go along. How we doing today? I get to bring my son home from NICU today. Thank you for the Goldfish comment. Made the time go by and a little less stressful. Oh, well, I'm glad he's coming home, Jacob. That's exciting. So hopefully he's doing well. Really hope X-Men is a creature type to force Seth to know it. Hey, I have proven, I think, that I can do Universes Beyond sets and still not learn about them. Just listen to my Lord of the Rings pronunciations. I'm very good at refusing to learn things when I don't want to. Urborg, Lure, fanning out some gift subs to Jaceface, Utic, Luke, Bipple Quartz. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Okay, so quick overview of Bard Class. What is Bard Class trying to do? The answer is very, very simple. We want to play Bard Class. Bard Class is a ridiculous enchantment. Its first level, kind of meh, whatever. Legendary creature's gonna extra counter, that's fine. Level 2 for 2 mana makes our legends cost a red and a green less, which means Gallia's free, Hajar's free, Ruby's free, Trognar's free, Agatha's free, Samlet's 1 mana, Domri's 1 mana, Halana Alina 2 mana. So once we get to that, we can dump our hand really quickly. The last mode is the one that lets the deck go off, essentially. When we cast a legend, exile the top 2 cards of our library and play in this turn. If we can fully level up a Bard class, we essentially just go infinite. We should be able to play our entire deck and win the game somehow. So that's the plan of the deck, is like, play Bard class, level up Bard class, do ridiculous things, win the game. You can see in the main deck, not really much removal. Sideboard, we get some more removal. We get some graveyard hate. Typical, squeeze for control. So pretty typical sideboard stuff. So let's do some Bard classing and talk about Marvel. Mind explaining what tentpole means. So I don't know if I've ever seen an actual full definition of tentpole from Wizards, but an example of tentpole would be the Lord of the Rings set. So tentpole, my understanding of it is, it's a full set. that is legal outside of Commander, like modern legal, getting the full release. It also has the Commander precons with it. It might have multiple releases, like the Lord of the Rings also got the holiday release. So it is a full-on real set. Like if you think of a standard set like Ixalan, where we're getting Ixalan itself, and we're getting the Commander precons and all the extra stuff, that's a tentpole release. So the Marvel releases, according to Wizards, will be tentpole releases. At least some of them. So I'm curious, how big of a deal is this, chat? Like, so I'm not an X-Men guy, I'm not a Marvel guy. I know Marvel's huge though, right? So like, is this something that like mainstreams Magic? Is this, so one side you could say this is a cash grab. I've definitely heard that take from people. This is purely just a cash grab. It's bad for the game. It's Wizards just cashing in. The other side is like, Marvel's huge. So the other argument from the other perspective would be this is going to bring in a ton of new players. It's going to like mainstream Magic. Marvel's like one of the biggest IPs in the world. How big of a deal is this? Is this like, so we gotta like, so far the biggest Universes Beyond that we've had is, where's Bard class? So far the biggest Universes Beyond that we've had is Lord of the Rings, right? Lord of the Rings, best-selling set of all time. I mean, yeah, the cash grab thing's kind of funny because, like, isn't all Magic a cash grab when you really think about it? Like, I know cash grab has negative connotations, but when it comes down to it, like, businesses exist to make money. Like, Ixalan is trying to make cash. I know cash grab has some more, like, specific connotations to it, but still, like, really? My 21-year-old daughter has never expressed interest in Magic, told me she's excited for the collab. See, that's the kind of stuff that's exciting, right? Is like, Marvel is something that normies know. It's not a nerd culture thing. Like Doctor Who, there's people who really love Doctor Who, but Doctor Who's kind of, meh, like, whatever. Like it's not like some like huge pop culture phenomena. Keeping a hand without Bard class is always sketchy, but I feel like this hand's good enough, even without Bard class, with having Samet and Burgi. We might be able to use the backside of Burgi even. We'll see what our opponent does. I mean, boosters are gambling. There's no doubt about it. Or maybe we'll just draw Bard class. Johan Leafart, welcome to the Fishbowl. Wizards, thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup to you. Thank you. All right, how can we do this? So if we play Ruby, we can play Ruby. Yeah, we play Ruby. We play Mox Amber. We play Bard class. We play Stomping Grounds. We pass the turn. All right, Wizards, be nice. We just want to do fun things. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Don't kill us. Don't kill us. Salty Codger and Variant, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup to you for you. I have a question for you all. Would you still play Magic if all were different IPs on the cards and no more Magic IP? Probably, yes. I think I would. Honestly, so I know so my take, and this take might actually make people unhappy, but like, for me personally, as someone who is not a big like Vorthos person, for me personally, is Magic IP really that strong in the grand scheme of things? Like, for me, I've realized with like the Lord of the Rings stuff, Orcish Bowmaster, it's a One Rings card, and maybe it's because it's Lord of the Rings and it feels like such a natural fantasy fit. But for me, I've noticed like Orcish Bowmaster, when I see that card and it's wrecking me, I don't think, oh, this is weird because it's Lord of the Rings. It's just like a Magic card. If it's Spider-Man or some British guy eating a sandwich, maybe that'll be weirder. So maybe it's just that the Lord of the Rings IP fits so well, it's different somehow, which I think that is a realistic possibility. What do we do here? I wish we could level this up more, but we can't. This just gets blocked. Well, let's play Burgi as a 4/4. Play Samet. Make a mana. Get in with Samet. I guess it doesn't get blocked because of the counter, so we actually get to get in and draw a card. First strike, draw a card. Another Mox. Well, all right, pass the turn. I mean, maybe we can live this turn and combo off. It's not impossible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, we currently have an amount of mana to level up Bard class and play Mox Amber and just see what happens. If we live, can we live? Can we live? Bad at Magic, good at gathering. Welcome to the Fishbowl. RUSW, thank you for your subscription as well. Big scoops here for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, early stream because of spoilers. So my question is, why Historic and not Explorer? Really, this deck can go either way. Historic lets us play Minskin Boo, although I don't know how essential Minskin Boo is, but we could really play it in either one. Reckless Charge. As we lose to Wizards, maybe that's an argument for going to explore opponent with a big attack. 5-11. Do we need to block? We could block. Are we dead if we don't block? What's the worst that happens? I mean, we would like to keep all of our creatures. I guess we can block with Samet and soak up some damage. All right, block with Samet. Soak up some damage. Drop to 8. That's a Ruby. Okay, here we go. We are off to the races. So we get to level up the Bard class. Can we combo kill? Can we combo kill from here? Level up Bard class. Ruby for free. Makes a mana. Actually 2. Draws us 2 cards. Gallia for free. Okay, okay. Makes a mana. Draws us 2 cards. Ooh, that's kind of a whiff. That's kind of a whiff. That's kind of a whiff. Mox Amber. Makes a mana. Draws us 2 cards. Okay, there's Hajar. There's Hajar. We're still going. We're still going. Hajar. Yes, yes. Make a mana. Make a mana. Draw 2. Into another Gallia. We will cast that to draw 2. Gonna legend roll. That's fine. Oh, we're doing it. Oh, no, we're not doing it. We were doing it. We were temporarily doing it. 5. So we can put this in our hand. And then we can play Plaza of Heroes. Jagatha, draw 2. Mox Amber. Draw 2. Make a mana. Oh, no. We actually fizzled. We like hardcore fizzled. Okay, so. Wow, that is disappointing. That's very disappointing. How do we fizzle here? How is that possible? Go to combat. Attack you. We're dead, right? We fizzled. That is so unlikely. Oh no. Yeah. And that's all she wrote. That is some low rolling. Oh my god. That is so unfortunate. Luke, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. And Nothing, welcome you as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the subs. Yeah, that was unfortunate. That was, I mean, we're literally just at the Symmetry Sage, right? Like, Symmetry Sage, Reckless Charge. Well, I guess that's not literally lethal. The odds of us rolling that low are pretty small to hit that many lands. When our deck is just all things that trigger. Found it, Symmetry Sage. Wait, is there a chance we untap here? Wow! Wow, they didn't have it. They didn't have it. They didn't have it. Variance is defeated. We beat Wizards. We beat Wizards. Okay, so here's my question. So question one about this Marvel thing. How does it impact you personally? Because I've heard such a variety of opinions. So on one side, you have, I think Krim would be the perfect example of this. Krim loves Universes Beyond. He especially loves superheroes and Marvel and comic books. So for Krim, this is like his dream announcement. He was so excited. 1 hour until spoiler stream, just under 58 minutes. Then I've also seen people on the other side that are like, this is gonna kill Magic, I'm selling my collection. Those are the two extremes of this. For me, the truth is probably in the middle somewhere. I know it's probably not a satisfying take. I I'm curious how it is for you. Is this something we've seen people say, my girlfriend, my daughter, my son, my little nephew, like people like that I haven't got to be able to play Magic before? Marvel has brought them in. We saw that also with some of the other Universes Beyond stuff. I'm just disappointed. The cards are shrudge. Diminishes my appreciation for the lore. So I'm selling half my collection. Do you think the lore thing matters? I think so. The cost, from my perspective, the biggest cost of this is it does diminish Magic lore. I don't think that's up for debate. I don't even think like you can make a reasonable argument that that's not true. So I don't even think that's like something you can make an argument for. It does diminish Magic lore. No doubt about it. Pretending like that's not true is it's silly. It's silly and it's not true. So does it diminish Magic lore? Yes. The question would be, does that matter? That's where I'm not as sure. Like, does Magic lore actually matter that much? I'm not 100% sure. They should make a Universes Beyond card game. Same game, but keep separate from MTG. That would be interesting. That would be an interesting way to go about it. Because, like, the way that I see it mattering the most, and no Bard class, we're going to maul. The way that I see it mattering the most, let's put a Mox Amber to the bottom. Yeah, let's just put Mox Amber to the bottom. The way I see it mattering the most is this. I think that this diminishes the chance of there ever being, like, Magic TV shows, Magic movies. I've said this for a while, but I feel like there's two pathways forward for a Hasbro IP. Monopoly and, I don't know, Transformers, let's say. One is your Transformers, and you make your own lore, and then you loan that out to other people and make movies and TV shows about it. The other is Monopoly, where you use Monopoly to license out to make other IPs and have all these different Fortnite Monopoly and Communist Monopoly. Like, there's a million different versions. I feel like this firmly cements Magic into the Monopoly side. Like, I think that Universes Beyond is like, that's the direction Magic is going. Monopoly is a very successful game, though. So that's not to say that this is all bad or anything. It's a different path. There's a couple different directions to go. There's actually a really hilarious, I don't know if anyone's seen this. There's a humor tabletop gaming YouTube channel that has done a video called Monopoly but with communist rules, and it is hilarious. If you ever want to watch, it's so good. Oh, it's so funny. What's the name of the channel? I don't remember the name of the channel, or I'd give them a shout out. But it just randomly popped up in my recommends, and I watched it, and it's really, really well done. I think it's just called Monopoly, but with communist rules or something like that. No rules barred. That's what it is. Thank you. Yeah, that video is it's actually really funny. So I think that's where the Magic lore being diminished really hurts. I remember the rumors about like a Netflix show and stuff. I assume that that's over. Spoiler stream is in just under an hour from now, 54 minutes from now. So I think stuff like that. My other concern would be, okay, Wizards doing Wizards things. My other concern would be like long term. So I know a lot of people who are nostalgic for Magic. Like you opened a crawl worm when you were a kid, or you had a pit spawn, or, name some verdant force. You remember that first pack you opened, and it was this like crazy fantasy character, and it made you fall in love with the game, and it was like something that stuck with you. And now 25 years later, you still love Magic, in large part because of this nostalgic experience from your childhood. I worry that if Universes Beyond is the biggest aspect of Magic, that might go away. Like 20 years from now, when someone's feeling nostalgic, do they get nostalgic about Magic? Or do they get nostalgic about Spider-Man or Frodo? Or so I do worry about the nostalgia aspect of it. Like, is that a Terastodon? Yeah, like exactly. Like 20 years from now, I don't know. Like, if the biggest set in Magic is Marvel, which is, I think, great that Magic has the new best-selling set ever and it's super popular and brings new people in. But 20 years from now, if you're someone who your first pack was Spider-Man, is the nostalgia for Marvel or for Magic? I imagine it'd be for Marvel, right? That would be my concern. Like, do you lose that aspect of things? Okay, so Marvel specific question, because I'm not an X-Men. I asked this about Doctor Who and got some good recommendations. So you know me, the only Marvel movie I believe that I've ever actually watched is Deadpool. Deadpool is actually very funny, but I thought it was making fun of I didn't realize Deadpool is apparently a superhero. I thought it was just like a parody of superheroes and kind of making fun of it. So I thought it was very funny because I thought it was just memeing on the genre. But apparently Deadpool's an actual superhero, I've been informed. But my question is, now that Marvel's coming to Magic, I probably have to like actually watch an X-Men. What Marvel movie, like, give me like 2 or 3 Marvel movies that I should actually watch. Because like people with Doctor Who, they're like, oh, you gotta watch Blink, you gotta watch this. What would you actually push me to watch to get a good, well, we found the Bard class, to get a good taste of what the Marvel universe has to offer? Any movie with Scarlet Witch, Avengers. So I know about Avengers Endgame because it's a Magic movie, right? It's Avengers Endgame was that movie that ripped off War of the Spark storyline. I'm pretty sure. Which is, I was surprised that a company as big as Marvel would be ripping off WotC, but I guess stuff like that happens all the time in the media world. Iron Man. Iron Man's a good one. Guardians of the Galaxy. War of the Sporks. I agree. Original Iron Man is good. Opponent doing Symmetry Sage stuff. Hits us for a bunch. Sure. Ooh, Torch the Tower. Oh, that's good, but also awkward. So we level up our Bard class. Step 1. We play Carpusin Forest. We play Gallia. We play Samet. Wow, do you actually have a 3 damage burn spell? We're probably gonna have to sack our Mox to... We're probably gonna have to sack our Mox to torch the tower, which is awkward. Wow. Really? Okay. Well, play the Mox. I guess this means we don't have to sack it at least. We are out of cards though, which is not great. We need 1 more mana and a legend. 1 more mana. I guess if we draw mana, we can get Jengatha in hand and try to go off in 2 turns. Expressive iteration. Gonna draw some cards. Moon Knight, Spider-Man original. Someone told me the new Spider-Man's like the greatest movie ever or something. Greatest movie of the year. Is it actually that good? Like a new animated Spider-Man? Even if MTG is covered in Marvel cards, people will still talk about the crazy game Magic they played with their Marvel cards. It looks vastly different, but the game is still the heart of it all. Really? All right, well, we're going to do this. Then we're going to play another Mox Amber. We'll keep the new one. We're going to level up this Bard class. We're going to smack you down to 11. Come on, Legend. Come on, Legend. We need a legend to start the fun. Any cheap legend will do. Bard class maxed out. Opponent plays a land. Are we dead? Oh, if we draw a land here, I'm going to be very disappointed. These reckless charges are scary. Symmetry Sage, yup. And reckless charge, take 6. All right. Come on, legend. Come on, legend. Opponent hits us down to 8. Any cheap legend. And dead. Well, that's disappointing. Oh, not like this. Not like this. Okay. Okay. A legendary, I guess I said any legend. I needed to be more specific that I meant not lands, and yeah, that does it. Oh, we were so close to doing cool things. So give me a tier rank for Marvel Universes Beyond. They start at, 9 a.m. Central, so about 45, 50 minutes from now. 45, 50 minutes from now. Is Wizards the best deck in Historic? Probably. It really takes advantage of the rebalancings that they do. It's a deck that I always lose to, and then whenever there's a big tournament, it wins. So I assume that means it's actually probably the best deck. Those two things combined, like looking good on the ladder and winning tournaments, pretty good sign that it's probably one of the best decks. So give me your Marvel tier ranking as far as impact. So I would consider, if you think about the Universes Beyond we've had, like, I would say Lord of the Rings is like the S tier. That's the one that's had the biggest impact. And then Walking Dead is probably like the F tier, the like biggest flop. Where would you put Marvel? Is it an S tier? Is this like a Lord of the Rings? Because we've been talking about like what else could Magic do with Universes Beyond? Like they did Lord of the Rings. What else would move the needle? And it's like Star Wars would be really big. Is Marvel like on that level? It's going to break Modern in half. I mean, so the thing about the modern criticism, which I do agree it'll probably break Modern in half, but the thing about that is Modern Horizons 2 also broke Modern in half. And that's not a Universes Beyond set. So I'm not sure if the Modern being broken problem is connected to Universes Beyond at all. I kind of think that it's actually not connected to Universes Beyond at all, and it's actually just a design issue. On the other hand, I guess you could argue like the One Ring. Wizards probably wanted the One Ring to be really good. Like, it's the most iconic card from their IP. Like, maybe you can't make a bad version of the One Ring, so maybe it plays into it a little bit. Like, maybe they push the One Ring hard. I remember, like, Richard said on yesterday's podcast, and my God, I hope this isn't true, but he said, I could imagine Marvel, like, putting a clause in the deal that basically says, if you're going to take our IP, the chase card has to be better than the One Ring. And this needs to be the chase card. So I could see it having a negative impact on Constructed for that reason. It'll change our game, add a new audience, but I feel obligated to make a Universes Beyond meme commander deck with nothing but Universes Beyond cards. I mean, that's getting easier and easier to do, right? Well, I guess we just play a Burgee. Go attacking. Life without Bard class is much less exciting. Getting milled. We don't have, like, any tech for mill. So we just have to, like, play things and attack, I guess. Opponent, land untap down to 11. Looking at our Burgee. Glimpses us for 10 more, down to 27. And what? Looking at Samet. Looking at Burgee. Drowned in the lock the Burgee. Sure. Well, we draw land. So in that case, I think we just... Minsk and Boo. Make our hamster. Put counters on the hamster. Smash it with the hamster. Opponent gonna block the Samet. Over on Apprentice down. We get to draw with Samet. It's a Ruby. And opponent might be dead. Opponent might be dead. Opponent might be dead. Tasha's hideous laughter. How bad is it? Pretty painful. Now there's a Bard class, but it's a tiny bit late here. Let's just play a Ruby. Go to combat. Hit ya. I mean, we just win in every possible way, right? Opponent down 2, dead. Minsc and Vu's voice actor is the one that does Tigger? Really? Hey Saffron, do you want to see my Mardu Pyromancer deck I've been rocking at Pioneer FNMs? Yeah, I'd love to. How's it been working? Well, Squeeze seems good. Mill. Who mills? What do we cut? So Squeeze good because they can mill it and we can get it back. Maybe that's it. Domri does fight through counters. Maybe Minsc and Boo. Let's go down this and this. Bring in another Domri. Run it like that. Not great results, not bad ones. Just having fun with my tokens. I mean, Mardu Pyromancer is a fun archetype. Ooh. It's been cool to see Pia really take off. This ended up being like the chase card of Aftermath. It is a really cool card. Pyromancer. I remember thinking Sedgemoor Witch was going to be really good. And it's not bad, but it's never really like super taken off in Constructed. That looks sweet. Yeah, I love the eight Ren's Resolve Reckless Impulse decks. They're just so much fun to play. You draw so many cards, and then you got Showdown of the Skalds too. Yeah, it looks super fun. All right. I mean, do we keep this? It's a good hand. It's an okay. Yeah, we're gonna keep it. No Bard class, but we'll keep it. Does Post Malone having the Infinity Gauntlet hurt the game? No, it doesn't. I feel like whenever changes like this happen in Magic, the reaction is more extreme than necessary. Maybe it's like 2023 life or social media, but everything's just like so like polarized and like you gotta be all in on good or bad. There's no in between. And I think when it comes to like a lot of this stuff, like this Marvel announcement, I think the actual truth is like there's upsides and downsides. Maybe that's not a satisfying answer because it's not, oh my god, this is the end of the world, or oh my god, this is, you know, the best thing ever. But I think for me that's the truest answer, if that makes sense. Do we just Squee? Squee gets an immediate damage. We can also, actually this is probably better. Let's play Ruby. Use Ruby mana to play Gallia. And this sets us up to maybe loot with Gallia next turn. By the way, Seth, what started as a joke with friends transpired into a real project. Been working on non-magic IP Cube currently, so these UB sets work perfectly. Ooh, that sounds sweet, Tuka. Did anyone go to CubeCon? I've seen a lot of really positive reviews from CubeCon. I'm gonna have to try to make it to CubeCon. It does look super fun. So I think let's play Stomping Grounds. Stomping Grounds. We need to attack with 3 things. Stomping Grounds, Squee. Do you even care about looting? Does that matter? Yeah, I don't think it matters. Let's just Domri. Take up Domri for red. Squee. Hit ya. Opponent down to 9. Yeah, CubeCon looked really fun. Calling it now, the Fantastic Four cards will have a clause that lets you play all 4 as partner commanders. So 4 commanders would be... I guess you just have to keep them powered down. As long as they weren't super strong cards, that might be fine. But initial reaction to 4 commanders is that could be very, very, very scary. Well, let's see if we can kill ya, Squee. I mean, the nice thing about getting milled is we got plenty of cards to escape. Escape the Squee opponent. Ground in the lock. Sure. Well, you fight the crab. Hit ya. Sure. There's the Bard class. I don't even think we need Bard class. We just need to attack. Ixalan spoilers in about 40 minutes for the spoiler stream. I've got to say, it's starting to get really old. This product isn't for you. Yeah, that's very, like, it's such an unsatisfying catchphrase. Wow, that was a good touch of Sidious laughter. It's such an unsatisfying catchphrase, but at the same time, I feel like it's becoming more and more true. Like, in the world where there's Doctor Who, Princess Bride, Warhammer, Marvel, normal Magic sets, Commander precons, random supplemental products, it's a big shift, right? I think that's like the hardest part of this is if you've played Magic for a long time, traditionally every Magic product was for you, and you get used to caring about every product every set. They come out every 3 months. You're looking to see what updates your decks, what is played in your format. So every set and product was for you traditionally. So I think a lot of this is the shift to having so many products that it's just not realistic for you to keep up on all of them is very hard if you're used to trying to care about all of it. I run into this myself, partly because of content and partly because I played Magic for a long time, but it's like, it's definitely a challenge to like be able to prioritize what matters and what doesn't. But I feel like that's become, in the current world, with the current product lineup, I feel like that's become more important than ever to actually, I mean, we got to keep this. We got the Bard class. We need 1 land. If we draw 1 land, we turn on the Mox Amber. We got the Bard class. We just do cool things. If we never draw the land, then I guess that is what it is. $1 million idea. Wizards delves into history and makes universes beyond World War II. I wonder if we'd ever see that. I don't know if you could actually. Could you actually do? No, not another Mox Amber. Could you actually do a World War II set? Would that go over okay? I actually find World War II history very interesting. I mean, Magic does guns now, right? I feel like the no guns was an old rule, but it's a. I feel like that was definitely a rule, but I feel like that's a rule that has since went away. Like, there's no way going to like. There's no way going to. Aren't they doing the Old West plane? How can they possibly do an old? Oh, dude, the worst draws. How could they possibly do an Old West plane and not have guns involved? I don't know how that's possible. World War II MTG would be insanely disrespectful. Aren't there tons of World War II based games though? I don't know. Is it just being a game about World War II is disrespectful? I mean, I imagine that Wizards will probably not. There's not really. Oh, goodness. 1 land, 1 keep fails miserably. There's not really much of a history of Wizards doing sets about real world history, right? We see a lot of sets where Wizards puts their twist on history. Like, Ixalan is a plane that is Wizards kind of fantasy reimagining that is influenced by real world history. I would be surprised to see Wizards go full on like true history. Like that seems like that's probably not the direction that they would want to go. I would expect, could they do some like world war plane, some plane where the world is at war? You could do something like that about like some great multiverse battle or something, but I couldn't imagine like Wizards wanting, like military generals, world leaders as actual Magic cards. That just seems like that would have a lot of possibly bad consequences that they'd probably want to avoid. So I got a question for you about the Universes Beyond stuff that I'm very curious what you think about this, because this was another big topic from the announcement yesterday. Do you have any concern about in-world sets ever going away? This was like one of the big This was one of the big topics from yesterday. So what made me think of this is when they announced the Marvel set, they announced the first tentpole release for 2025. And tentpole, remember, is like the big full set release. Commander decks, legal and modern, full draft boxes, the whole thing. And they've already announced Final Fantasy as a tentpole release for 2025. So based on the current information we have, it seems like there's 2 tentpole Universes Beyond sets coming out in 2025 in the same year. I actually wonder if we could end up in a world where in-universe stuff would ever go away. Do you think that's even possible? Is there any possibility that in-universe sets become a thing of the past? Or is that just unnecessary to even worry about? So, like, the thing that made me think of it, like, combining the announcements with... there's the Bard classes. Combining the announcements with the draft booster thing, where we got that, like, the change of getting rid of draft boosters, and the, like, WotC saying essentially, market forces, we're going to get rid of draft boosters anyway. We're not trying to kill draft, but market forces essentially dictate that that draft was going to have to go away. Draft boxes, like, the market was demanding that they go away. I can imagine a world where 5 years, 10 years from now, could you imagine, like, just the out-of-universe sets smashing the in-universe sets in sales? And I don't think Wizards wants them to go away, but I could imagine, I don't think anyone wanted draft boosters to go away, but I could imagine a world where someday we get that same announcement, like, market forces dictate that... It just makes more sense to do Universes Beyond. Here's another interesting question. Do you think Universes Beyond is easier or harder for Wizards to make? I've been going back and forth on this one. Is it easier or harder? On one hand... Yeah, we're just going to dump our hand, I think. Dump our hand, go attacking. Opponent, would you like to chump? Here comes the door. Wow, they take it. We get to draw 2 extra cards. Opponent down to 13. Samit going off. You think it's harder? Depending on the licensing deals. I know I had a conversation with someone from WotC when I was in Vegas, and I asked them a little bit about Universes Beyond sets and what the process was like. And one of the things that was very interesting is they said it's very dependent on who owns the IP. That some IPs are like, they essentially just sign the papers and they're like, you do you, like, anything's fine with us. And then other IPs micromanage every aspect of the product, and every line of text on every single thing is going to be managed by the IP holder, every little bit of it. So I guess a lot of it probably depends on who's in charge. I imagine the ones where they're like, hey, do whatever you want, we don't care. Those ones got to be pretty easy, right? Those got to be the easy ones. But then I imagine there's also some more difficult ones. Magic stream starting in half hour till stream time. Do you think it's cheaper? Yeah, Bard class, we're actually playing Historic at the moment. You can play it in either. It works in either format. The one card that we have that's not Explore legal is we have Minskin Boo. Well, let's level up. Play this. Oh, I kind of want to try to combo. You know what? We're gonna combo next turn. We're not even gonna go for the kill. I don't think they can kill us. And next turn we get to fully level up Bard class. And a fully leveled up Bard class is one of the most fun things you can do in Magic. Zertar Goblin. Opponent, we going aggro? Are we? Oh, okay. Well, level up that Bard class. Let's have a bit of fun. Ruby, draw 2. And how about a Trognar? Draw 2. Yup. We will play another Gallia, draw 2. And opponent does not want to sit through our shenanigans and scoops it up. Safe way to do UB is to do generic cards that resemble the universe and create alternate arts for those cards depicting characters from UB, similar to the Godzilla alternate arts. I think that's true. That is a safe way, but I think we're past that. I mean, I think we will see reskins on occasion. Like, we see that with Jurassic Park, right? There's some reskin cards there, it looks like. And we even see that with the, like, not Fortnite, Fallout. With the Fallout cards, where there's like the Wasteland. What do you think of the Fallout cards? Where does Fallout rank in the tier ranking? Hilariously, if you look at the list of Universes Beyond sets there's been so far, if you look at this list, so Walking Dead, never watched it. Stranger Things, watched the first like season or two. Arcane, nothing, never watched it. Street Fighter, played that when I was a kid. Fortnite, actually played that a little bit. Warhammer, nope. Transformers, nope. D&D, played it with Tomer once. Lord of the Rings, nope. Evil Dead, nope. Well, I've watched Evil Dead. Princess Bride, classic. Out of all these IPs, Final Fantasy, Marvel, I'm pretty sure Fallout is the one that I have the most personal experience with. I actually played a lot of Fallout at one point. There was a time when I actually played a lot of Fallout. Fallout's actually like kind of fun. At least it was like 10 years ago, whenever that was. Where do you put Fallout in the hierarchy of Universes Beyond? I feel like it fits better than I expected. Like zombies, mutants. Yeah, there's some like, you know, baubles and weird things like that. But a lot of these cards, they kind of fit the normal Magic flavor for the most part. At least compared to like Doctor Who, which I think Doctor Who is very far away from the normal Magic flavor, a lot of the cards. These are like kind of like fantasy post-apocalyptic things, like out in the wild, fighting, doing things. So Fallout actually seems to fit better than I expected. Honor Bisquat, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Fallout is a great series, but 76 are in the IP. Oh, so the one I played was the Vegas one. That was the one I played. That one was good. I don't know how big of an impact it'll have on Magic. Is Fallout still popular? Is Marvel? Here's the other thing people said about Marvel is like, people saying Marvel's past its prime. Is that actually true? I feel like Marvel's still massive, isn't it? The idea that it's like past its prime to me is so strange. Well, all right, opponent's off to a fast start. We do have the Bard class. Opponent hastes it up, hits us. Unfortunately, we do need to shock ourselves to play the Bard class down to 16. All right, no big follow-up. Oh, Fallout has an Amazon show. Interesting. Ooh. I hadn't really thought about that. How many tie-ins are there? Well, we're gonna, please don't blow this up. All right, Bard class levels up. That's huge. So we get to play an Agatha for free, play a Gallia for free, play Goro. Actually, can we fully level up next turn? But we can't cast anything. Yeah, let's play Goro. And Stomping Grounds untapped. And I think we have to play defensively. I think we just get in with Gallia, hit ya, stay back on defense. We could have hasted up and attacked, but I think we need to block here. We are at 10, and they could have like a questing beast or something. Plus this lets us leave up the torch. And then next turn, if we Sunder Shaman, okay. We can fully level up here. If we draw a cheap legend, we can try to combo. Opponent, looking, counting, thinking. Wow, that's an aggro attack. Well, we will block. And take 2. Untap. That's Mox Amber. Okay, here we go. Play Beseiju. Level up the Bard class. We're going for it. We are going for it. Bard class. Mox Amber, draw 2. With a little bit, play nothing. Go to combat. Attack with everything. What is our plan here? I think we decline. We need this removal spell. Pound it. Thinking of blocking. Thinking of blocking. Just block it. Just block it. Okay, so we will torch the tower, Sunder Shaman. Kill it. Pass the turn. Hold. Hold. Opponent looking at our creatures. Coco. Coco? Wait, they're playing Coco? That's interesting. Burning Tree, Bone Crusher. All right, that's not immediate damage, though. That's fine. That's fine. It's not immediate damage. Ooh. Bone Crusher. Okay. Well, come on, Legend. Come on, Legend. That counts. That does count. All right, now we just got a combo. That's it. We just got a combo. Easy. Easy. No problem. Mox Amber, draw 2. Keep the Mox Amber. Burgie, draw 2. Ruby, for free, makes some mana, draw 2. Jengatha. Play the land. Play Jengatha, draw 2. Samet, draw 2. And Fizzle. Well, okay. Huh, why are we fizzling so much? I'll go to combat. Attack, attack. Actually, I guess we just attack with the Samet. Let's just get in with the Samet. About it. Thinking. We're fizzling way more than I expected to. Hey, what's up, Stone Rain? How are you? Oh, it's the Ixalan spoiler stream today. Ixalan spoiler stream. What am I most looking forward to with Ixalan previews? Anything on your wish list? So, honestly, I actually like original Ixalan. I think original Ixalan was actually a really sweet set that was just a little bit underpowered. So I'm looking forward to more of the cool Ixalan stuff. Like, dinosaurs are cool, pirates are cool, vampires, I guess vampires are cool. They're not as cool. So I'm like hyped for more good dinosaurs, hyped for Cavern of Souls. I'm hyped for more Explore. Do you remember the Explore deck? Man, now I'm kind of like missing underpowered standard. Remember underpowered standard when, like, oh no, what was the Explore 2 drop? Wild Growth Walker. Do you remember, like, Wild Growth Walker? You, like, play that, then you play, like, Jade Light Ranger that explores twice and it grows and you gain some life, and it's like, it's such just, like, fair, underpowered magic. Wow, we drew not much. All right, go to combat. Attack, attack, attack. Also attack, I think. Gallia. Get rid of this Copperline George. What are we doing, opponent? What are we doing? I mean, they gotta block something, right? They gotta at least blank Jengatha. Opponent. They could have Coco, but we're about to combo. We're gonna make a big board here. I don't know if we can win this turn. Opponent thinks about blocking, decides not to block. Gonna trade with the Burgie. I mean, you gotta block Jengatha. Can we somehow deal 6 direct damage? I don't think so. We sideboarded out the Minskin Boos, right? Oh no, we still have the Minskin Okay, so we just gotta draw until we find the Minskin and fling. Do you think that we're gonna get more UB stuff that gets injected directly into Modern? Modern will transition to being like Legacy, and Pioneer will become the new Modern. Yes? Wait, did they just kill themselves? Opponent goes to 2, Gallia. Well, now we only need 1 Minskin. Opponent, like, thought so long about blocking and then made probably the worst block possible. Whiff. Keep a Gallia, float a red mana, play a Mox Amber. Can we hit the Minskin? Wow, no, we can't hit anything. Keep the Mox Amber, Bard class. Make a mana, Bard class, level it up. And opponent scoops it up. Hey, Seth, thanks for signing my Panoramic Guns in Vegas. Got an entire Goldfish crew to sign it, and it serves my Miram deck well. Ooh, that sounds super sweet. How is Baldur's Gate? I'm supposed to actually play the new Baldur's Gate game. Is it good? Yeah, let's do, we got more time. We got time. 15, we got like 15 more minutes till spoilers. 17 minutes. Do you think Jace will get desparked? I haven't actually read on the lore. Is Jace desparked? Do we know that for sure? So far, we haven't seen that iconic of a Planeswalker be desparked, right? We haven't seen Jace desparked as far as a card, like a legendary card, but I'm sure it's coming. Play more Flump. Good advice. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super very thank ya. It's a turn-based game? I thought it was a like RPG, wander around for a long time to look for things kind of game. My game opinions are so weird. I love Civilization, which can be a very long game. Never got into like wander around Final Fantasy style games. Is there a way to just skip to the good parts? Can I skip the wandering? No Bard class on the draw. Yeah, let's mulligan. Well, this one we're gonna keep, I guess. I don't think we can go past 6 for Bard class. We really want the Bard class, but I don't think we can just mulligan into oblivion for it. Yeah, Fallout's kind of wandery, right? I guess that's true. I did like Fallout at one point. I don't know, like I liked like GTA, like games like maybe. So I think it's like the combination of the wandering, and then I never really got into the fighting aspect of like Final Fantasy style games. The fighting aspect always kind of bored me a little bit, if that makes sense. Like you wander around, and then the fight is just like you don't actually like shoot anything or anything. It's just kind of like, I don't even know. Things happen. You should watch a little bit of someone playing it so you can see what it is. Are there planeswalkers? There's not planeswalkers in D&D, right? What is Mordenkainen in D&D? About it. Ooh, Orcish Bowmaster. Okay, Orcish Badmaster. How the mighty have fallen. Opponent's gonna go attacking. Okay, passes. Oh, there's the Bard class. Can we dodge a counter spell? Well, we're gonna Stomping Grounds on tap, play a Bard class. Please let this resolve, because it does cool things. Opponent, how are we feeling about a Bard class? Oh, this would be huge. Demir, not very good at getting rid of Bard class either. Do you have a counter? I mean, I guess the good news is we have this Burgy, so if it gets countered at some point, we can try to Horn and use that as our card advantage engine. About it. Bard class resolves. Well, we will take up the Bard class. And then Ooh, how greedy are we? I think we pass. I don't think we Hajar. I don't think we Hajar. I think we pass. I think we go attacking. Hit you with the Burgee. We need one more. We need one more land. One more land. Or... Wow, okay. 3 lands or ace out of the equation. Your call, opponent. Opponent's going to take the 3 lands. Sure. I mean, if the Burgee lives, we cast this for free, make a mana, level up Bard class, and then Burgee again. Oh! Wow, that actually gets a card out of our hand, too, and triggers the Bowmasters. Wow. This increases our odds of finding a land, though. This increases our odds of finding... And there's the land. Okay. Oh, opponent tried to end us, but this actually worked out perfectly, because now we get to level up this Bard class, and we draw Hollow and a lane. All right, so... Land. Level it up. Well, let's see how far we can go. How many free legends can we play? Hajar. Exile 2. There's a Mox Amber. That's actually really big. Play the Mox Amber. Exile 2. There's a Gallia. Play a Gallia. Exile 2. There's another Mox Amber. Float a mana. Play a Mox Amber. Exile 2. Can we win the game this turn? Keep the Mox Amber. Gallia for free. Exile 2. Okay, there's all the lands. Keep the Gallia. Samet. Exile 2. Oh, double Mox Amber is huge. Float the mana. Play a Mox Amber. Keep the new one. Agatha for free. This is where the deck feels so sweet. This is the deck at its finest, just absolutely going off. This is the times when he fizzled before. I don't think we're fizzling this game, though. Another Gallia. Trognar. I think we win the game this turn, right? We should win the game this turn. Goro for 1 mana. That's going to give us some haste. Wow, that's still a bunch of lands. All right, float a mana. Mox Amber. Keep the Mox Amber. Can we still play a land? No. So if we just haste an attack, what happens? I mean, I guess we can Goro again and keep going. Goro. Yeah, Burgee actually would have been good here. Keep the new one. Domri. Draw 2. 19 cards left. Okay, there's a Ruby. That's free. There's a Hajar. We're going to play our entire deck. Ruby really improved this deck because it gives us another like ritual essentially that generates mana as we cast our spells, which is big. Keep the new Ruby. We're playing our entire deck. We're going for it. If we die to milling out, we die to milling out. Keep the Trognar. Wait, is this the end? Have we reached... Oh, we can play Samet, I guess. Play Samet. Exile 2. 9 cards in our deck. So now we... Now we what? How do we win? So we can take up for a mana, haste everything, attack. That's got to be lethal, right? That's definitely lethal. All right, so take up for mana. Haste him up a Goro. And here we come. Go to combat. Swing. Get a couple triggers. We will decline. Opponent. Ooh, that was a good one. That's what makes Bard Class so fun, is games like that. That was what, turn 5? Turn 5, draw and play our deck. 9 cards left. Those are the games that make it worth it. Is there a Zerta companion version of Bard Class, do you think? Capitalize on Agatha more. You miss out on Gallia, but get to keep a lot of other creatures. So what would we lose? Ruby stays, Goro stays, Trognar stays, Agatha could stay. I mean, I think we have... Hajar could stay. Yes, I think it would be possible. Although I don't know... What was there to do in the deck? I guess it's a cheaper companion than Jengatha. So it's a way to like restart the combo. Wow, is our opponent going to assault out? Kellic, welcome to the Kellicu, welcome to the fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big tip for you. Thank ya. But I wonder, like, would reducing the cost of activated abilities, so it would make Agatha cheaper. That's something. I guess it makes Goro's dragon ability cheaper. I don't know if I don't think I've ever activated that ability. Although I'm sure there will be a time when I would want to. Yeah, I could see it. Oh yeah, making Bard class cheaper is actually kind of nice. All right, we draw a card. We get pinged. This Bowmasters is going to do work, but unfortunately for our opponent, they're going to be dead. Oh, and that is how you Bard class. I use there as a companion 3 copies of the deck, but you can't use Burgee. Ooh, Burgee would be a big loss. So what else would we lose? Out of our current build, you lose Gallia. You lose Burgee. You lose Samet. Halana and Elena. It's definitely doable. It is doable. The biggest loss is probably Burgee, honestly. The backside doesn't count, right? If only the horn would count towards companion restrictions. Is our opponent playing control? It's got to be Dimir control, right? All right, let's see if we can win this match before spoilers start. So we're gonna bring in Squee, bring in more Domries, bring in Clothis probably, go down Agatha, Halana and Elena, a Samet, maybe one Goro, and maybe we go 3 Domries. Let's try it like that. So what are you hoping for? What are you hoping for out of Ixalan? So, I mean, so far, Ixalan. We haven't seen a ton. But the stuff we have seen is pretty exciting. Like, Skullport Nexus is really good. Preaches, like, every card they early previewed is really strong. I don't think there's no duds. Like, even maybe Huatli. How good is Huatli? I mean, it's got an ETB. It can't be that bad. We just haven't seen these flip creatures actually take off. The pay a bunch to transform at sorcery speed is kind of a tough sell, even if the Saga's good. Galta is like, oh, that card. Galta's kind of power creepy. Just like that is a lot of power it can add to the battlefield for 12 mana. Cavern of Souls is going to have such a huge impact. I'm very excited. What did our opponent scoop? All right, freebie. I'm really excited for Cavern in Standard. I feel like Cavern, I hope it has a positive impact. If you look at current Standard, there are a decent amount of counterspell decks. There's a lot of blue decks. So there's a lot of decks that are playing counters. Make Disappear out of Soldiers. Esper has Make Disappear, has sideboard counters. 4-color Ramp has sideboard counters. So I like the idea of Cavern being able to let creature decks fight against those counterspells. On the other hand, I'm also very nervous that it's going to be like, oh, 4-color Ramp plays one to like make Atraxa uncounterable, and now your Disdainful Stroke plan doesn't do anything, and Atraxa's definitely resolving. So I hope it's a positive impact. I could see it going the other way, though. I think where it'll definitely have a huge impact is Pioneer and Historic that don't have this effect. We'll see if it's enough. We'll see if it's enough to make some of these creature decks actually work. But I feel like it's a big addition to like Elves and Merfolk, all those decks. Really, really big boost of power in Pioneer and Explorer. So and it's just like a really good reprint. That's something in a standard set, in the main set. This is not like a special slot where it's going to be super rare and super expensive. This is like actually straight up in the main set. So I think that's very encouraging to see that kind of card reprinted in the main set. It is almost spoiler time. We got a couple minutes. Love the YouTube videos. First time making the stream. Thanks for the great content. Hey, welcome, Cradle River. Good to have ya. Fury Exile Cavern from Modern to Pioneer. Yeah, it really did. Fury has pushed so many of the decks that would want Cavern out of Modern. Actually, in Modern, where I see it the most now is Amulet Titan. I think Amulet Titan is the home that I see the most. And that's not even really a creature deck. It's just like I want to make my Primeval Titan uncounterable. So here's where we're at right now. These are the early spoilers. We got about 5-ish minutes until the official spoiler stream. So here's a recap of where we're at as we go into spoilers. Snuggle Monster, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank you. Any cards from Doctor Who you're going to build for Commander ETC? Unfortunately, I just have not really been able to go through them yet. The fact that Doctor Who's not on Moto, and that's where we record Commander Clash, and we've had just so Fallout, Marvel, Ixalan, so much has happened since Doctor Who came out. I haven't really had the time to dig into it to the extent that I want to. So I'm sure there will be. The one I'm most intrigued by is the one where tokens end of turn abilities don't trigger. It's one of the master something. The one that lets you keep your tokens around. I think that's one of the coolest ones. Aimless and Sharon, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. So here's where we're at. Refresher, Golta. Probably the chase card that we've seen from the set so far. It seems ridiculous, really expensive, really big, very scary card. Commander All-Star for sure, probably 60 card potential. Huatli showing off some more of the D-Spark Planeswalkers. Now, apparently, this Planeswalker at least is a legendary creature that flips into a pretty dino-y saga. I want dinos to be a standard deck. I want dinos to be top tier. When we look at the metagame page, I want to see dinosaurs up here. I want to see dinosaurs stomping soldiers in Esper, out of here Atraxa. I think that's part of my goal for this, is dinosaurs to be legit. The Vista, welcome to the Fishbowl. So many first-time subs today. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. The Skullport Nexus seems like a absurd commander card. Its formatting is a little bit like the Greyhenge. It doesn't draw you cards. Still really strong. Azure, this is actually, I know everyone else is hyped for this card. I'm still, maybe flipping into a land is what saves it. Maybe flipping into a land. I'm hyped for more transform into land stuff. One of the most exciting parts of original Ixalan was definitely Search for Azcanta, those flip into a land cards. They were really innovative and unique at the time, and those were some of the strongest cards to play with too. So I'm hoping for more of those. Those were really cool cards. Breach, it's kind of busted. I'm skeptical of Osier. I really am skeptical. Out of all these cards, it's the one I'm most skeptical of. Oh yes, chat. Last chance. What is a map? Give me your guess. So pretty safe bet that map is a. Oh, here we go.
Have you? And we're going to show you a ton of cool stuff today.
Here we go.
If you've joined us for a debut before, this one's going to look a little bit different, as is evident by the fact that we're here live. That's not normally how we start these things off, but we are here live in our new studio, and we're going to have 6 videos for you, all narrated by the wonderful Stephen Ray Morris. But because this is a set all about delving deeper into the ground, we are going to dive deep into this set live.
How's
so we're
the
going to show you
audio?
those
How's the
videos.
audio?
We're going to come back. We're going to talk about them with our 2 live experts here,
This
Miguel
might
Lopez
slow
and
things down
Andrew
a little bit,
Brown,
which is sweet.
Who were instrumental in making this set. Welcome.
I think Map is exploring too. That would be my guess.
Hey, good to be here.
Miguel and Andrew, tell the folks at home a little
Can
bit
you
about
hear
your
them
work
and also
on the
hear
set
me?
before we dive into things.
I could be louder, or they could be
Sure.
louder.
So I'll start. I was the world building lead and set lead for the Lost Caverns
Miguel's
of
got a good
Ixalan.
mustache.
Basically, I helped.
I don't know who Miguel is, but
adapt
that's
this
a
set,
good mustache.
Revived the set from the first one to what it is now. Did a ton of the work alongside.
I like
video
Andrew.
to,
Andrew's a good. I've talked to
bring
Andrew a few
Lost
times at
Caverns of
events. I like
Ixalan
Andrew.
from, essentially a spreadsheet and artist contact list to the set you're going to see previews for today.
All right, Andrew.
All right.
Hi, I'm Andrew Brown. I'm a designer on Magic.
I'll turn them down
and
slightly.
I work on all the sets, and this happened to be one of them. So
How I work on all the sets, and this happened to be one of them.
The Lost Caverns of Ixalan.
I'll say Blake
give us a view of
Blake looking pretty good today. Blake does
sometimes
Blake comes out on stream, and you know he looks like he's going in front of the firing squad. He looks so miserable. But today, Blake's looking pretty positive today. He's looking pretty positive.
Welcome back to Ixalan, explorers. I'm Stephen Ray Morris, and I'll be reintroducing you to this vibrant and colorful
plane with
Stephen
Ray
treasures
Morris
for anyone brave enough to claim them. The Lost Caverns of Ixalan may be beautiful, but it's also full of danger. Those who want to plumb the depths of Ixalan will find the competition among the factions on its surface. There are the humans of the Sun Empire, who are looking to expand the reaches of their mighty culture in a new direction, despite the loss of their old emperor.
His art's sweet.
They'll have help along the way from the dinosaurs that live alongside them.
I feel like that already
above the waters
exists,
of
that
Ixalan,
dinosaur.
but not afraid to venture onto land,
Whoa.
are the piratical
What is going
brazen
on with his
coalition,
face?
for whom the lust for treasure is a way of life. More ominous still are the vampires of the Legion of Dusk, conquistadors who seek their dark god wherever he may hide. And finally, there's the River Heralds.
Man, the art's actually super
who've been
sweet.
driven from their ancestral homes only to seek some semblance of safety in darker parts of the world. These four factions were hit hard by the recent Phyrexian invasion. Even the members of the Sun Empire, who were warned about the attack by Saheeli, the Sun's brilliance, were decimated.
2 mana.
Though the
Create a
people
token
of
with a copy of
Ixalan
another
had no
creature
interest in
artifact you control
uniting
except
to
for
repel the
artifact.
invasion together, they did stop fighting long enough to defend themselves. Now, each group seeks to replace what was lost in the march of the machine.
2
When
mana
searching
clone an
for
artifact
something
or
of value,
creature until
there's
end
no
of
better
turn?
place to look than
Oh, the
deep
art's really
underground.
good.
The Lost Caverns of Ixalan takes place as the four major factions have discovered mouths of the world, each of which allows them to access the vast caverns beneath Ixalan's surface. There are those like Huatli of the Sun Empire who seek knowledge. She and the expedition she leads are joined by the newly sparked planeswalker Quintorius Kond.
When you cast a spell
His
from exile,
power
you
to
team at
summon long-departed spirits
make a
proves
spirit
helpful immediately
discover
as he
form. What
gives
is
new
discover?
life to Abuelo,
What is
ancestral
discover?
echo, a warrior from
What is
centuries
discover?
past. But they aren't the only ones
Another
below
creature
in
artifact
search
control
of
each other's
ancient beings.
Ooh, that's a good blink card.
Fanatic Vampire Vito, guided by visions of
Vito.
everlasting life, will sacrifice
4
anyone in
mana,
his
4
way
for
to
flying. When you
satiate
sacrifice
that
another
thirst.
permanent, you gain 2 life. If
Though the
first time
caves
this
below are
ability plays
treacherous,
out,
they
it's the
lead to the
second
hollow
time.
center of the planet, home to Jimil,
They go through the cards
Raven
too
Star.
fast. They go
A mysterious
too
source of power,
fast.
Jimil is worshipped by
Discover
Oltec,
sounds like a Hearthstone
living
mechanic.
ancestors of the Sun Empire, as the threefold sun and the mother of the deep gods,
I
including
wonder what Discover
Ohertak,
is.
the god of civilization,
one-
congress of all people past, present, and future.
Triple tokens.
Ohertak is closely
Triple
associated with
tokens!
Jimil, which resides at the
tokens!
very center of Ixalan. It is
Triple
the greatest
tokens!
treasure
Oh!
imaginable. Though who can
That's
say
a
what would
triple
happen if someone
anointed
were to
procession.
claim it?
That card is going to cost $1 million. Oh, that card's going to cost $1 million.
And welcome back from
The
that.
White God.
There's a lot
That
to
White God is
unpack in that
ridiculous.
video here. And to do that, we're going to start with Miguel. To
That
talk
card's
a little
so
bit about the
ridiculous.
world. So the story
If Anointed
is
Procession is a
out.
rare
If
and like
you wanna
40
read the
bucks,
story,
that
you
card's
can
going to
head
be
to
so
aliensmuseum.com
many
right now
dollars.
and read the full story. But Miguel, we heard in there some
All right.
keywords: March of the Machine. This is another world recovering from the invasion. Tell us what is going on in Ixalan to lead up to these points. And while you do that, why don't we put a preview card up? Because
let's see some
we like
cards
at home.
Sure. So in Lost Caverns of Ixalan,
more
we
creature lands.
returned to Ixalan about a
Restless
year
Prairie,
and some months
ETB
after,
tap, green or white.
the
4
end
mana
events
becomes a
of
3/3
March
white llama.
During that time, the various
White
peoples of
llama
Ixalan
creature
have,
token.
been rebuilding,
When it attacks other
sort of
creatures you control, get
recapturing
+1/+1
areas
until
of
end of
their-
turn.
Ixalan is a planet and a continent, so the
That's
continent
actually a
of
pretty
Ixalan,
good.
of
It
Torazon
is
as
a
well.
llama. That is
So
notable.
retaking it from what remains of the Phyrexians and
So the
exploring.
mythic
And
goddess.
in that time, they have discovered, as you heard in the video,
This card I think
various,
is fine. It's fine. I would
mounds
say
of the world,
Restless
places where
Prairie.
they can
We've
descend
seen
underneath the surface into.
we've seen the creature lands in standard.
Into the caverns.
Oh, you're right. That is a
our point of
llama.
view for the set is from the Sun
That is a
Empire,
llama.
which discovers.
Okay,
Alaska,
very good,
these
very good art.
puzzle
Wazzy, well
doors
done.
that
Where's the
speak
llama
of
over here,
vast
though? Oh, right there.
treasures, whole
It's the
worlds,
llama
below
right
the surface
there.
of the earth. So
I don't really like llamas. I don't know. I've never been a llama.
we'll
I'm more of an
follow-
alpaca
The story
guy.
follows Watley.
I think all
and,
people, they're
three
either llama
characters,
people or alpaca
Quaint
people.
as well.
I've always
as
been more of an
they-
alpaca
as they descend
person.
below the
What can I
surface
say?
of Ixalan, seeking answers to deep questions of their past. We'll follow expeditions from all four. Of the original
creature land
factions,
itself,
the Brazen Coalition, the Legion of Dusk, the Sun Empire, and
the creature land itself. We've seen creature lands in Standard. They're fine, but not busted. This one, 4-mana turn into a 3/3 llama. Pumping your team, though, in a go-wide deck, I think is going to be its main home. So I expect the card to see play, but it's not busted. We've seen that with other creature lands. Long Nap, welcome to the Fishbowl. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you.
Eventually, they make their way to the core, where the Sun
Empire. Oh yeah, and a llama deck is going to be a banger,
and it all kind of comes to a head in
Are there llamas in Magic?
Event that sort of we think sets up.
Is this the first
what the future of Ixalan could look like?
And Andrew, as we see on the screen, there are at least some llamas involved in the making of this set.
Yes, none were harmed though.
Wait, that doesn't say llama. Wait.
All right, so are we getting the full cycle here, Andrew?
Yes. So in Lost Caverns of Ixalan, like in Wilds of Eldraine, there were 5 creature lands.
No llamas.
So in the next set
first
here,
llama
we're
ever.
going to give you the remaining 5.
Okay, so full cycle of creature lands.
This is the first one that we have. And it's my favorite because it's got a llama, so...
It's got a llama. Who doesn't love llamas?
All right,
Andrew's
Miguel,
definitely a llama person.
One of the aspects you didn't touch on are, or you lightly touched on, are who they run into, the 4 factions when they start going underground. And I think our next card shows both a bit of that and how we're seeing the same world but from a different vantage point, because this is a card that people are going to recognize. Growing Rights
it's
of
back.
Itlamok
That's a good reprint.
Back.
That's a good
Right.
reprint. That's a good reprint.
Miguel, tell us what's
Gaia's
going on
Cradle
in
flip
this art
enchantment.
Yeah, so
are those mushroom people? They meant mushroom people.
It exemplifies sort of what one of the considerations.
Wait, the underground of Ixalan is mushroom people?
To do with this set's world building, which
how is that possible? I mean, that's a $20, almost $20 reprint.
Make it new and then
at rare. That's a good reprint.
What is new and relate it back to.
Welcome to the Visual, Robbie. Thank you for your subscription. Big soup here for you. I mean, Growing Rights of Itlamok, it saw a bit of play in Standard. It's never taken off outside of Standard.
Instead of a circle of humans and merfolk.
It is a fun card.
Ritual circle. We have a ring instead of mycoid mages.
Oh, they're still bearing the price down for sure. So if you've been waiting, wait a little bit more and you'll get it at a discount.
On the flip side, instead of a lush
plus you get the mushroom people
on the surface of Ixalan, we have an equally lush
which art do
you
like better?
Directly below the
who wore it better?
Itself, you can see the ends of roots dangling.
I feel like
from the ceiling.
I feel like mushroom people wins art wise.
Background as well.
The first one's fine, but like
talk a little bit.
I think I'd go with mushroom people.
Double-faced cards in this set when we get to the mechanics. But Miguel, I do want to stay here because we're also going to stay with you because we are going to see some familiar faces.
There's a fungus
this
among
next preview card is someone we recognize in a different form. This is Malcolm Alluring Scoundrel. So another pirate, a name we've heard before. So Malcolm, who is...
So Malcolm, 2-mana 2/1, legendary Siren pirate. Flying Flash, when it deals combat damage to a player, put a chorus counter on it, draw a card, then discard a card. If there are 4 or more counters on it, you may cast the discarded card without paying its mana cost.
Point of view of the Brazen Coalition.
I mean, Proliferate's still in Standard. Proliferate's still in Standard, I'm just saying. Proliferate is still around.
The Brazen Coalition is back.
Looting that turns into Omniscience is kind of wild. I mean,
treasure,
4 attacks. 4 attacks is a lot. So I don't think this card's broken or anything, but it's a really cool design.
Malcolm, along with his...
You can flash it. I mean, it's a 2-mana 2/1 Flying Flash. Like, it's a good starting point. It probably does bring back Mono Blue. Oh, Mono Blue. Curious Obsession, flashbacks.
Underground.
No.
And all the way to the core.
It is a cool card, though. I like it better than the original Malcolm, I think.
Uncovering the truth behind the mystery of the disappearance of their prosperous mining towns.
And Andrew, this looks like a pretty powerful little flash flying.
Okay, well, when they switch to the next card, we have some of the earlier cards up on the site. I want to see these real quick.
Blue flyers.
When they switch cards, we'll go back. So
I think we can expect to see some of Malcolm in Standard, although he has some competition.
Blue and red tap it. Create a token that's a copy of another creature artifact, except it's an artifact in addition to it. Okay, so he is like okay.
All right, before we dive into this next video, Miguel, can you tell us just real quickly a little bit about some of the real-world inspirations?
Okay, so real world inspirations, they can talk about that, and then we'll jump back. The rest of these cards, Quintorius, 5-mana 4 loyalty. When you cast a spell from exile, 2 damage to each opponent, you gain 2 life. +1, make a 3/2 red and white spirit. -3, discover 4, whatever that is.
The video has a very deep knowledge.
-6, exile any number of target cards from your graveyard. Add a red for each card exiled. You may play those cards this turn. That's a sweet ultimate. That's a sweet ultimate. A Bellow. 3-mana 2/2, flying ward 2, 3, blink another artifact or creature. Veto, 4-mana 4/4 flying. When you sacrifice another permanent, you gain 2 life. If this is the first time it's resolved. If it's the second time each opponent loses 2 life, it's the third time make a 4/3 white and black vampire creature token with flying. Boy, that seems good in like Calvin style decks. And then the big one, Osier Tag, 6-mana 6/6 Vigilance. If one or more creature tokens would be created under your control, create 3 times that many instead, and then it flips into a land if it dies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good way to tee up our that card's gonna be
video
so much money.
Cultural consultant Alisor Guzman and Evidio Cartagena.
Maybe it's impulse draw keyword.
¿Qué tal, Alastor? ¿Cómo está?
¿Qué tal, Evidio? Muy bien, muy bien. Muchas gracias por invitarme.
We brought you in because we wanted the set to have authenticity and knowledge. We wanted this to feel true to Meso and South America.
I've been playing Magic for a lot of time, and being able to work in a Magic set, and especially a Magic set that is connected to my culture, was an incredible experience.
It was a dream project for me because I loved the original
Ixalan, right?
I have been thinking about Mesoamerican fantasy my whole life. I read these stories as a kid.
Wow, look at that art.
Being able to use that inspiration, that
look
lifetime,
at the art.
and put it in the
it's
set
so good.
was just amazing for me.
I've been
the
working on
art's
games
so
and on
good.
cultural and consultancy for this kind of stuff for the past few years. So I was honored to work
So
with
the
the
thing
Magic
about
team
Veto
to create
Vulture
this set of Ixalan.
is it only is going to trigger each ability once.
It was made by us.
So like the
Por
first time you get
nosotros.
one, second time, third
Make
time,
Ishan
the
feel
fourth
like
time
ours.
you'll
Make
get
Ishan
nothing.
feel familiar.
But yeah, the art in
Make
this
it
set's
their
very
own
impressive.
civilization, their own
Very,
story.
very impressive.
Across the set,
Oh, look at that turtle.
you always know you're in Ixalan. We were able to put motifing everywhere you go. We wanted to bring a lot of color into the set. It's
It
just
is a
such
very
gorgeous and unique
Very
treatment.
bright set. The
In
colors are
particular, looks similar to
ooh.
alebrijes, which are like these small versions
Mischievous,
from
Bob.
Oaxaca. We wanted to stray away from many of the bad stereotypes that are usually related to Mesoamerican people. Mainly the idea of noble savages that is very present when representing Mesoamerican cultures in fantasy. There's usually this sense of otherness. So the idea of having the Mala
New
not
cat
just
legend?
as these savage civilizations, but also as part of a wise people that have their own thing, their own
Petrify.
writing.
How has
That's one of
Petrify
the
not
most
been a card
important
already?
steps from creating
That's like
Ixalan.
such an
The
obvious
Malanet
name.
were super fierce.
Oh, yeah,
I
Mana
really
Crypt. We knew
loved
about
how
Mana
they
Crypt.
looked.
We knew-
gave
so
them
Mana
wisdom and
Crypt-
We gave them an ancestry.
So
They have
Mana
magic, they have
I
their
forgot
own
people
political
maybe hadn't seen
system.
that yet. So
I think
So
Quintorius
Mana
is a very
Crypt
interesting character in this
is-
set. He's a very successful kind of archaeologist. He's actively working with Quatli. He's
So
working
Mana
with
Crypt is
other
one of the
people from
special
Sun Empire.
guests.
So it showcases
So-
how you can work with people from different cultures and still being respectful of them.
Quintorius was a great example
Petrify's a
of good
reprint?
archaeology.
is it?
The echoes. It was our own
Wait,
unique
is
approach
Petrify
to
actually a card?
spirits. All the spirits in Ixalan, they have to
No,
have
it's
a
not.
focus
Petrify.
object. A bone,
Putrefy
a
is a card.
poncho,
Petrify doesn't
hat,
look like it's a card.
mask, Physical
So-
object for the spirit from which the spirit could be born.
Okay, so the
From
Mana
related
Crypts.
from a
Good news and bad
because
news.
when
Good
you are
news
taking
is
answer, you sometimes leave
Mana
the
Crypt's
objects
kind of being
from that
reprinted.
person who they do
Bad
the
news
fruit.
is
And the echoes
it's
feel
going to be
very
pretty
similar to
rare.
idea.
The understanding of special
We're able
guests
to
is they're
just
like
bring
they announced
our
about these in play
lights into the
boosters.
set
This is
and
going to be
make
in
it
like
the rest
the
of us
list
to
slot in
Central
play
America and
boosters
Mesoamerica.
once we
I
get
got
play
to paint
boosters.
the
So I'm
Kumo
not sure how much of this is
Guatemala
actually going to
I got to
offer a
have
bunch of
fun. I
Mana
got
Crypts.
to
The
be
cool thing is it's going to be
inspired.
possible to crack a
I
pack
hope
and get
I
a,
can
you know,
inspire
super
others.
expensive Mana
People
Crypt.
playing the set
I
and
don't know
they
how
as much as other
frequently
people
that's going to
were
happen
creating.
though. From how it sounds, they're going to be like pretty
Yes.
scarce, so
And welcome
Yeah,
back.
they
That
haven't
was
really announced-
rightfully gushing
because
over a lot of the
play boosters don't start until the winter set. So I don't think they've announced exactly how the special guests are going to work in Ixalan. But we will see.
on the story art side of things to.
So it's a
really
different kind of
inspire the
spoiler
set.
stream.
Anything we did differently?
Show us cards. Show us cards, Blake.
I mean, so as you saw in the video, like we worked very closely with Alistor, right?
Okay.
Basically,
yeah, there's also going to be other cards in the special guest.
From
links to preview cards. Yes. So we're uploading them live as they go. If you want to see, them uploaded live as you go, it's right here.
Experience,
oh yeah, so
knowledge to
yeah,
the set,
it's MTG previews.
Sure right,
so if you go to
whose professional practice is
if you go to mtgpreviews.com, it's going to take you to probably Fallout. But if you go to change set, there's so many sets these days. You can just filter by the set you want. So filter for Lost Caverns of Ixalan.
Certainly the Lost Caverns of Ixalan
is Mana Crypt coming to Arena? So there was a press conference thing with Wizards right before Play Boosters, and one of the questions that came up was, are all those cards going to come to Arena? Are all the cards from the list going to come to Arena? And they specifically said that not all of them would. Some of those cards will be replaced on Arena. And from what I remember, they actually used Mana Crypt as an example. One of their examples of cards that probably wouldn't come to Arena was Mana Crypt. So I'm not expecting Mana Crypt to come to Arena. There's Quintorius Con. Quintorius Con, the question is, what is Discover? We don't know what Discover does.
Like
that
discovering.
That is the one thing we don't know. So Quintorius,
when all of that
what's your guess on Discover? What is your guess?
A nice
would it just be Impulse Draw keyworded?
Right. So let's now jump back to our silent co-host, Stephen Ray Morris, and he's going to bring
new video,
an overview of the mechanics. We'll come back
mechanics.
And talk about
Here we go.
This set introduces three new mechanics to Magic the Gathering,
all
designed to allow players to spelunk to their heart's content into the depths of
Spelunk
Ixalan.
is such a funny word.
Obviously, the first thing to do when searching for underground treasure is to descend. This takes on a few different forms that all reward you for putting permanent cards into your graveyard.
Permanents
the
in
new
the
ability
graveyard.
keyword descend with a numerical
Return
value
from your
after
graveyard
it
to the
shows
battlefield
up on
with
a number of
mana
cards that
active only if
improve
there's 8 or more
gain new
permanent cards
abilities
in your
once
graveyard
there
and
are
only
that
as a
number of
sorcery.
permanent cards in your graveyard.
Okay, that card's jank, but
the horrific
okay.
Uchbembak can come back from your graveyard once you have 8 cards and pay some mana.
So you need so many permanents in your graveyard in a thing
permanent card
happens.
was put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn. Seen here on the Myco Tyrant, the fungal overlord of the caverns who spreads black fungus for
Power
each
toughness
descent.
equal number of creatures you control that are fungi or saplings. Spinning your own step, create
its
X1
power
black.
and toughness are linked to the size of your fungal network.
Okay, so descend
Of course,
means permanents
if you survive
put in the
Uchbembak
graveyard.
and the Myco Tyrant,
That's
you may
actually
discover some treasure yet.
Oh, discover.
With this new mechanic,
Exile the
you
top
can
card of
exile
your
cards
library
from the
until
top
you
of your
exile a
library
non-land
until
card
you
with mana
exile
value
a
3 less.
non-land card with a mana value equal or less than the discover value, at which point you can cast it at no cost or put it into your hand.
Exile
And as
cards
you
from the
collect
top of your
valuable cards in
library.
the caverns, you might find that not everything is
Discover
as it
10.
seems.
Wait.
The new craft ability turns the
Okay,
mundane
craft.
into the magnificent. Exile the required components, pay a bit of mana, and transform your find into a much more powerful possession. Locus of Enlightenment retains those abilities
What is going
from your
on?
sacrifice, while also doubling
Isn't
their
that
effect.
Cascade?
Explore is a returning mechanic from
Is
original
it not
Ixalan.
Cascade
As
again?
a twist in this set, some cards create map tokens, which are artifacts you can pay a mana and
It is
sacrifice
sack to
let a
explore.
creature
That was
explore.
what my guess was. A lot of people's guess was.
And
These
we
mechanics
are
are-
back. Chat was going
think
through
it's
each of
worse
those mechanics
Cascade,
and
right?
just reacting
So-
crazy to each one of them. And so we're going to spend a
These
little bit of
mechanics are
time
wild.
on them. We're going to dive
These mechanics
as we
are
said,
wild.
deeper into each of those mechanics.
Okay,
and
so
spend a little bit of
Descend is the
time.
most
We're going to
straightforward.
start with Descend, and you know what? We're gonna share some preview cards.
Descend
along
is the most
way.
straightforward.
So, Andrew, why don't you?
So Descend
start
is
us
just
off
you
and
want
talk a
permanents
little
going
bit
in your
about Descend,
graveyard.
its role in the
Easy,
set,
that makes
what it's
sense.
representing, and let's
Cascade-
throw up a little
So
bit of
Cascade is
cards.
like the other mechanic is very similar
Yeah,
to
so
Cascade,
like I was
right?
saying, with the
Ooh,
feel
the ever-flowing
of
well.
going deeper and discovering the
So
underground
3 mana legendary
we did
artifact.
wanna capture that
When
feel.
ATBs, draw
So
2
Descend
cards
is our
and mill
way
2 cards.
of
Descend 8.
communicating
At the
that.
beginning of
So
upkeep, if there are 8 or more
Descend
permanents in
is
your graveyard,
a
transform
keyword
it
that
into
has
the
multiple
myriad
ways
pool
of using
legendary
it.
artifact
So
land.
here
Add
on the
1.
Ever-Flowing
When you
Well, you'll
cast
see
a
that there's a
permanent
number
spell
values
using mana
attached to
produced
it,
by it, up to
and
one
it
other
will
target
trigger
permanent you
if
control
that
becomes a
condition is met.
copy
So
of
this
that
one is Descend 8. If there are 8 or more
spell
permanents in
until
your
end of
graveyard, then
turn.
you get to transform it.
Interesting.
This is one of the ways we're using Descent in the set.
That's like a really good divination, right?
We're using it.
It's a 3-mana draw. It's a 3-mana draw too that eventually turns into a land.
Instead of
these cards are so good. The flip into a land and double face card so strong,
lands
so good.
And actual things in your
so what do you think of Descend?
Better than instants and sorceries.
What do you think of Descend? So I think Descend.
There are multiple ways to do it. Our next preview card shows off kind of one of the really cool ways, I think, that it uses
2-mana, star +1. Additional cost to cast this spell. Discard a card or sack a permanent. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. Toughness equal +1.
This one is just straight up counting instead of having a threshold.
How hard do you think this is?
Theoretically, this creature could be like a 20/21 or whatever.
On one hand, we've seen graveyard mechanics be super busted and abusable. On the other hand, it's got to be permanence, right? It reminds me.
I already saw this one, but
okay, if you want a hot take, the mechanic might actually flop. This card is sweet though.
You're also looking
the
at
Myco Tyrant.
Number of times you descended per turn.
Power toughness equal to the number of fungi. I want a fungi. I want a fungi deck in standard. I want fungi and saplings to be real. Beginning round step, create X/1/1 black fungus tokens that can't block, where X is the number of times you descended this turn. So permanent's going to your graveyard from anywhere. The mechanic seems really good with fetch lands. Like, fetch lands are free to send. So keep that in mind in older formats, or in standard with Streets of New Capenna.
And it doesn't care where the permanent entered from anywhere.
I am not sure. I'm on the fence on this one. This mechanic's either going to be busted or unplayable. I don't think there's a middle ground. It's either super strong or unplayable.
Discovering. I saw
the cards look good though. Okay, discover.
Fixed Cascade or any different way they wanted to put it. So talk to us about this.
I can't believe they're bringing straight up Cascade to.
Yeah, so
I can't believe they're bringing Cascade
had
back.
A number of issues.
So what is the difference?
I think first and foremost, on a gameplay perspective, one of the worst things about Cascade is that it really restricts the kinds of cards you can put into your deck. So like if you Cascade into a combat trick or a counter spell, it's really unsatisfying.
No, the problem with Cascade isn't that it's not strong enough because you might whiff. Oh my!
You always have that option to put it into your hand.
That's such a fundamental misunderstanding.
One of the other cool things about Discover is that we can put a numerical value next to it, which really opens up the design space on what we can actually put Discover on.
See, the problem with Cascade is sometimes you spin into a combat trick and it's not very good. So we had to fix that to make sure you only hit action.
Spoilers. Yeah, we're going to get to that. So yeah, here is an example. You're talking about using the number. Cascade was previously tied to the casting cost. Here you get to toy with that number, like here when you have Discover 10.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite flavorful cards in the set. And it also showcases.
So it depends on the numbers, right? So it really depends on the numbers. So this is Discover 10. You cast this for 7 mana. You could spin into a 1-drop or a 2. There's no controlling it. It is actually going to be chaotic.
Chat was also
on the other hand, the low numbers
return of
make me kind of scared. That's what makes me scared.
Here we see,
Explorer's back. We know what Explorer is. Explorer's sweet. Reprint Wild Growth Walker. I'm actually legit afraid that they brought back Cascade. And is this just going to break things? Is Modern going to get even more? I just yesterday was talking about how I thought Cascade was like one of the biggest problems in Modern. We'll see. Maybe they found a way to design around it. I am shocked. I am shocked. Where was Cascade on the storm scale? I'm curious. It's gotta be high, right? Where is Cascade? Storm scale was created on his blog in response to a question asking for the odds of Cascade being reprinted on a storm scale of 1 to 10. Oh, actually, it's only a 7, so it's not that ridiculous. Wow. Yeah, this is Cascade on Arena, Cascade in Pioneer. So it is worse. Is it worse? Is it worse? Map tokens are cool. I like Explorer on Artifact token is cool. Like, I think that's a cool use. And it fits, like, the theme and the flavor. Like, when I read Map, I figured, okay, Explorer would make a lot of sense. So I like that. ETB not cast. That is a drawback, right? So you can counter it. I guess we don't have them up on, they haven't been uploaded on the site yet. So ETB instead of cast is the downside. When ETB is create a map, 1 mana, 1/1, this seems like another good mono blue. Jury's Obsession style card. Plus a 1-drop pirate. We'll see how aggro pirates are. It's all just about the numbers, though. It's all just about the numbers, essentially. There will be a broken card with Discover. There will be a broken card.
Mechanic. Yeah, so like
okay, what is this mechanic? Craft with artifact.
Like motifs.
So exile this artifact, exile another artifact you control, or an artifact in your graveyard. Return this card transformed. Okay, so it's another way of transform, essentially.
So we kind of took that from the top down.
So 2-mana flash, ETBs, 4 damage to target tap creature and opponent controls.
You basically have
and then you can
an artifact, and then you kind of craft it with something else.
Pay for, craft it. Tap to untap artifact creatures you control becomes okay. Okay, so it's just another way to transform.
So this is a simple version.
It takes advantage. It plays well with maps and clues and treasures. I like this mechanic a lot. I think craft with artifacts really sweet.
It's classic white removal spell.
The fact that you can use it with all the artifact tokens.
Sorcery. It's an artifact that you can craft with.
Look at those saw arms.
That thing's turn into
going to town.
A vehicle later. It's also cool.
And this is just a random uncommon.
Like I said, we didn't want to use as many instants and sorceries, so the more artifacts that we have here can enable descent more often.
Oh, so they tried not to use a lot of instants and sorceries because they have the permanent in the graveyard mechanic. So this is their spell. That's going to be worth keeping in mind. When this happens, like we see this artifact that's a removal spell. This one probably isn't the one that breaks anything, but then you got to think like, okay, affinity in older formats. Next to just care about an artifact being on the battlefield, tutor it with Karn from your sideboard. So there's actually a lot of interesting applications when Wizards is like, okay, we need to make spells that aren't actually spells to fit the theme of the set. And because we have this descent mechanic that cares so heavily about permanence, I feel like from what Watsy's saying, this is going to be one of those sets. So keep an eye out for that too. There's going to be
one that you control and play.
There's going to be implications of this mechanic. I got to say, this set looks awesome. It's way better than I thought.
Cool. So
the Enigma Jewel. When ETB's 1 mana, ETB's tapped, add 2 mana, only spend it to make activated abilities. Craft with 4 or more non-lands with activated abilities and a ridiculous 9 mana. The backside, it has each activated ability of the exile cards used to craft it. You may activate each of those abilities only once each turn. Whenever you activate an ability that isn't a mana ability, you may choose new targets for that copy. Wait. Is this like insanely broken? Or is this insanely unplayable? Wait, so okay. It's a tapped blue soul ring, but you can only spend the mana to activate abilities. And you have to pay 9 mana in exile 4 or more non-lands with activated abilities. They have to also be artifacts, because that's how craft works. Wait, this is the... And then the backside is you get all the activated abilities. You can only use them once each turn. And you get to copy... I do not know what to think of this card.
So much a mechanic.
That card's going to be interesting to build around.
Obviously, we wanted to explore caverns here. So, Andrew, we have a new set of lands called
Caverlands.
And let's take a look at the hidden caves. I believe this is the one. These are the ones that were your favorite cycle.
Sacrifice it.
Yeah, these are the ones I mentioned earlier. So these are all
these are lands that cascade.
So you're gonna see these a lot in draft.
These are common
5 mana,
lands that cascade
them to discover 4. So these like I was saying earlier, another benefit of assigning
don't these
a number
like
to
become
discover
instant
is that we can use
best
it in more spaces.
Cards in Pauper?
So here in the
aren't these
cycle,
like ridiculous? Are these not bust? They're commons. They're commons. They're commons. Wait, these are common.
Up, let's see
cascade lands.
Cave. Cavernous Moss. So this is
becomes a 3/3. This is also a common? No, uncommon.
Yeah, so
becomes
a
3/3 creature until end of turn. It's still a cave. Activate this only if the number of other caves you control
because
plus
of
the number
descend and the caves kind of sacrificing themselves and you wanting them to be in a graveyard. We did want to make sure that
only if the number of other caves you control plus the number of cave cards in your graveyard is 3 or greater. Okay. Clunky wording, but sure.
Non-land cards that key off of caves.
Common cascade lands.
Like with things like deserts and
Cosmium Confluence.
There's Cosmium Confluence. Andrew, tell us about
5-mana sorcery, choose 3. You can choose the same one more than once. Search your library for a cave, put it on the battlefield tap, then shuffle, put 3+1/+1 counters on a cave you control. It becomes a 0/0 elemental creature with haste until end of turn. It's still a land, or destroy an enchantment.
Or it can destroy an enchantment. Okay.
This works with
3 of those things.
Wait. Are changelings caves now?
Our last,
does it work with?
It's not really a mechanic so much as it is putting a counter to a thing that we've done before.
Okay.
Is the finality counter, which we see here on Intrepid
Finality counter.
A mana creature that
if a creature with finality counter would die,
graveyards and make mana and do dinosaur things. But down there at the bottom, Andrew, it mentions finality.
Where does
counter,
it say?
So that's
okay. So you may cast a dinosaur creature spell from among the cards you own in exile. With it. Oh, pay 2 exile card from a graveyard. If you cast a spell this way, it enters the battlefield with finality. Okay, so all this, we've seen this before. This is just putting a keyword. Like, we've seen this before. You play this, clean. If it dies, it goes to exile instead. If it leaves the battlefield, it goes to exile instead. This is just putting a keyword. Yeah, where's the dinos? Where's the dinos?
And now we are going to take a look at another video that's going to...
This has got to be a dino video.
It'll show off some dinosaurs. There'll be some dinosaurs
Here it is.
in this video.
Here
we're going to learn a little bit more about
Dino
the
time.
decks and
Dino time.
other aspects of this set. Let's roll that footage.
Here we go. Those mechanics are so sweet.
The Lost Caverns of Ixalan are full of treasure seekers, each looking for adventure and hopefully at the end of it, a reward. The set includes 4 commander decks, each of which allows you to bring their unique skills to bear on your opponents.
We already saw these. It's one of each of the
Ahoy
tribes.
Mateys is a blue, black, and red deck, and it's exactly what you think it is. A chance to live out your dreams of seeking treasure or throughout the 7 seas. Or however many seas
so like
Ixalan
Pirate
has.
Reanimator. Pirate Reanimator commander deck.
Blood Rights is a white-black deck, bringing everyone's favorite undead conquistadors to the
That
floor.
card we got leaked. I think that's actually a very strong
to gain
card.
value, so you can bring them back to sink their teeth into your opponents. Explorers of the Deep is a green-blue deck featuring Ixalan's fearsome merfolk. Explore the depths for enough buffs and mana to change
so
the
merfolk
tide
exploring. That's the same as last.
And finally, Ixalan wouldn't be itself without the dinosaurs.
Naya Dinos.
Velociraptor,
What is our face
a red,
commander?
green, and white deck allows you to unleash their scaly
What is our
fury
face
on
commander?
your enemies. Ramp up to
When
cast
it or another
even bigger
dinosaur ETBs, you can discover X where X is the creature's toughness.
Into extinction.
Oh, do it only once each turn. Oh.
Like previous sets, the Lost Caverns of Ixalan features a variety of card art influenced by the setting. In this case, we were inspired by Mesoamerican art to create an authentic and inspiring card presentation.
These showcase cards are going to be 10 out of 10.
These frames use the specific design language from the Aztec calendar. This unique graphic style represents an exploration log, inspired by the codices and sequential art of those cultures. Their circular design and shape language, along with the use of color, really brings these cards to life.
I want to see
in some cases, bring new life to the undead.
Ooh. That looks pretty good,
Those amazing new showcase
Those
styles
look pretty
can
sweet.
also be found in the Commander face cards, with the commanding dinosaur Pantlaza getting its own borderless dinosaur card.
I mean, Pantlaza's
that beautiful
still
watercolor
sweet.
treatment is carried across
well, like,
to other
compared to the
dinosaurs
sliver one that just goes and goes and
including
goes,
the
this one's a little
mighty
safer.
dinosaur Sun's avatar.
Hey,
this art style evokes that beauty and awe for these powerful creatures. Other popular cards get the borderless treatment too,
they reprinted
with Praetorius Khan receiving 2 of his own. This set was
reprinted
designed with a lot of vibrance in mind, and the colors surrounding Quinn's face
like
evoke
$50,
Mexican
right?
Alebrijes, bringing that modern Latin American art
Was
feel
that-
to the card. And
Was that
Cosmium
Commander
Neon
or
Ink will
main
be featured
set?
as a new twist on the Neon Ink of Kamigawa. Just like in that set, these cards come in a variety of color combinations,
Neon
now
Ink.
including Neon Purple Ink, each of which invoke the Cosmium veins found in the Caverns of Ixalan. The gods of Ixalan have
Is
returned
Gish-Ass
and are
standard
being
or main
celebrated
set?
with a tweak on the
That's
coin
like a
treatment
real
from March
reprint.
of the Machine. These depictions pay homage to the various treasures found in South and Mesoamerica cultures. Their frames also resemble the codices decorated with
Look at that
Mesoamerican
face.
motifs. The land side returns with mapland frames, adding Nazca-style lines behind the text and uses mural artwork
The
to tell
front
the
looks
story
cool. The
of
back's
each
like
god.
looks like traditional.
And no
flipping
set would
to
be
land
complete
cards.
without its full art lands.
What do you think of the
These
basics?
core full art lands really are a glory to behold. Even the
Mid-tier.
mana symbols were redesigned in true Ixalan fashion.
Gishath was EDH. Wait, no. Wait, did you say Gishath was EDH? I shouldn't have paused this.
Reprints of cards from previous sets. All full art borderless cards that will stand out in any deck.
Gracios.
And for one last bit of exploration, we have Treasure Trove Box Toppers.
Ooh,
20
box
powerful
toppers.
artifacts sure to enhance
box
your
toppers.
gameplay.
Oh, look at that
Non-foil
chalice.
versions can be found in
That
draft
is a
and
scary
set booster
chalice.
displays, while the beautiful foil versions can be found only in collector booster
So
displays.
foils only in collector
But
boosters.
remember, what looks like treasure to some
Non-foils,
bears
normal
its curse
boosters.
upon others, so choose wisely.
So if this is correct,
a lot of cool stuff there. You know, we're going to show you more cool stuff. We're gonna keep going with previews, but I want to pause for a moment.
If
Chad
Gisheth is
was,
in the Commander Precon,
pretty enthused about the
Commander
return
Precon
of
is just a
Gisheth and
snap
the
buy,
borderless,
right? Like it's a
dinosaur
$50
frame.
card.
So,
The whole deck doesn't cost $50.
First, I want to talk about.
So if it
the
literally
role
is, oh, this set
of-
looks
of
so good.
Dinosaurs and
The mechanics are
factions
so
in this
cool. The
set,
cards are
Andrew.
cool. The
Now,
art's
it's not
cool.
a faction set, but they're
This is
they're
like
definitely
fixed
present.
fixed
right?
Ixalan.
Yeah, so they're like the first video showed you, all of the same like cast of the original Ixalan are there. So you have the merfolk, the vampires, the pirates, the dinosaurs, and the Sun Empire. But they're not the focal point of the set. The focal point of the set is definitely more of the adventure and the descent into the underground. So you'll definitely see
This set
all
looks
of these
so
creature
sweet.
types that you learn to love in original
Gisheth is
Ixalan,
main
but
set?
they're not
Okay.
going to be all about kind of like
I mean, that's
collect
still
them
like
all
a really good
aspect.
reprint. Even in the main set, that's still
And,
a $50
Miguel,
Commander
people
card that we
seized
needed
on
reprinted.
the
So
borderless frame for the dinosaurs. It's really clean looking.
yeah, this
it's
is
beautiful.
way
How-
way more
how'd we land
exciting
on
than
that?
original Ixalan.
Yeah, so the dinosaurs in this set,
Show us cards, Blake.
I think
Show us
many of us have
cards.
like a very special connection to just dinosaurs in general. Growing up, whether it's media or books, right? Like one of the things that we
I
wanted
still
to,
can't believe they printed Cascade.
we wanted to
Lands
sort of
on
honor
it.
that, right? In that style and sort of
Cascade
render
Lands.
the mighty dinosaurs
Cascade
of Ixalan in
Lands.
sort of
I can't believe they brought back a Cascade
storybook isn't
mechanic
quite
at
the
all,
right word,
but
sort of like naturalist.
this card's
inspired
sweet.
Drawings,
Where did this come from?
Watercolors, charcoal drawings of
Green and X1-1 when the
dinosaurs,
ETBs explores
and sort of
X times.
See what that would look like when applied to the dinosaurs of Ixalan.
This is like haste away from being Bloodbraid Elf, essentially.
Well, let's look now at some of the promos from this set. You've already seen
promos.
some of these,
All right.
but we're going to show you their promo forms. So for the Buy-A-Box, we
Buy a box
have
promo.
Jade Light Spelunker. This is a new one.
Spelunker.
Explore
Old
X
Splunky.
times is a pretty exciting ability, Andrew.
That is a cool ability.
As you
Splunker
can tell,
just- the word cracks me up.
inspired
Just the
by
word
one of my
splunking.
favorite cards from original Ixalan, Jade Light Ranger. And we figured that, we could put X on it. Maybe it'll work. And maybe it'll
I
work.
mean, I think this card's fine.
I mean, it looks pretty sweet to me. I will point out, too, that the art was done by our own Video Cartagena. This is the piece he was referencing in the video earlier. Next up, we have a card we have seen before, but with some fantastic art for the bundle promo. Here is
Hit the Mother
Load
Load.
with that monkey
Discover
coming right at the
10.
camera.
If it's less, okay. Is this card good?
Sweet card. All right, next up we have.
So if you cast
the
this for
promo
7
pack
and hit a
cards.
1,
So these
you
are
get that for
uncommons
free.
that you can get for participating.
And then
in
you get
events
9
through the game
treasures?
store. 3 of these we've seen before, but let's take a moment.
So
to
it's basically
linger on
plus
Deep
3
Cavern
mana.
Bat,
Ooh,
and Bartolome.
wow. Wow.
Andrew, that's a Deep
It's
Cavern
legendary,
Bat has the
but
ability-
that's a free sack outlet. That's a free sack outlet. This is something we just do not get very often. It is legendary, which is a little awkward, but like it's a 2 mana free sack outlet. I don't see a once per turn restriction. Just sack an artifact or a creature. That is massive for sack decks. Absolutely huge. Oh, there it is in full.
Vampire, but it's got.
We don't get free sack outlets like that anymore. That is a huge card.
We don't put free sacrifices on things very often, Andrew.
And it's
That's
also
correct. We're
it's also a
normally pretty
vampire,
skittish
which
about
could be
that.
relevant.
But we've been exploring more.
I mean,
and
when I go on Arena and try to build a sack deck, it's like Woe Strider. It always comes back to Woe Strider because that's like the only option. So this is actually this is a card that has constructed implications for sure, even though it's
Miguel,
uncommon.
the
Like
video
that's a real
obviously talked
card.
A little bit about this treatment.
Oh, these
but can you
names.
expand on what this treatment is
Bartolome
looking to
oh,
accomplish
boy.
and show off?
People are going to be upset.
Yeah.
Bartolome di
continuing to
Fresnito.
ground make it like not unrecognizable.
The art is
make it like recognizable.
the art is
Ixalan
cool.
Wherever you see this card, right? I think
It looks good. His beard's a little weak. His beard game not that impressive.
Obviously, the script in the background is not Mesoamerican. It's
oh yeah, good with without a drawback. Being a vampire is relevant. Being a knight's not really. Not many Zack synergies in knights, I don't think.
Format, the frame itself.
I'm just blown away by the art, even just the background art.
Just trying to draw the eye to it.
It seems like they really went hard on the art for this set.
Items that you're seeing that are on.
Presidio.
Andrew,
all right, that makes more sense.
A couple powerful reprints.
Where do I find out what Discover is? Discover is essentially Cascade. They talked about it earlier, Muffin.
Before we dive into those, can you talk
Discover
a little bit about
is
reprint philosophy
when it enters a battlefield, reveal cards until you hit a card of that mana value or less, the Discover number or less, and you can play it for free or put it in your hand.
Original Ixalan were, and we did want to report it into here because we felt like it was important to keep that core soul of what we thought was awesome in Ixalan.
I knew they were gonna push this set. I knew it. I knew they were gonna push it after the first set.
Like growing right.
After the first set was so underpowered, I knew they were going to push it. I didn't think they were going to go, hey, let's bring back Cascade, push it. But
this is our next preview card.
They're pushing it.
That transition. Treasure Map and
I love Treasure Map.
Cove. So
I love Treasure Map. I play that card so much in Standard. This is our regular Bankbuster replacement.
Saw a lot of play and it enabled a lot of cool
this
decks.
This card will see play, I think. It's a cool card.
To kind of recreate that magic here. Definitely one of my favorite cards in the original Ixalan.
I love it.
And it just made a lot of sense.
Played so many Treasure Maps.
Really excited for it.
Is it worth anything? I don't know how much Treasure Map costs.
We have another favorite. We've seen a few blue flyers here. And
I appreciate the amount of reprints they're doing.
Those pretty well.
All right, Chart a Course. Treasure Map's only like
$3. Was a bit of a powerhouse in its day.
Only like $3. Chart a Course is fine.
I really love the flexibility
it still seems
of
a little bit of
play. It can go in so many different decks. Like you can play it in blue aggressive tempo shells and actually just have a draw to. Or if you have a graveyard-based deck, you can just play it without attacking. And
Chart a Course will probably see play. Like I still see it in Phoenix decks sometimes.
Descend. So it made a lot of sense.
Solid uncommon.
Chart a Course.
Absolutely. All right, before we jump into the next video, so we've seen Miguel in a couple of videos. Chat's pointed this out.
Why do they have Blake on this role? He sounds totally unenthused. I will say. They should just have Marrow do all of these. I like Blake, and I think Blake does a good job of like presenting the information, but there's something about Marrow's enthusiasm. He just gets that like super frantic high Marrow voice, and he's just like, I love Magic. I love Magic. Magic's so great. I love Magic. Like, they should just make Marrow do every preview show just because his like enthusiasm for the game is so infectious. Yeah. He's just got that frantic, like, joyful Magic is the best thing ever, and I, like, just love Magic energy.
As the same deity as the Sun Empire's threefold sun. So the Cosmium that comes...
I'm curious about how you get these.
It's basically like...
They've gotten better at showing off foils.
Magic potential as a mineral, right? So it suffuses.
How do you get these cards though?
Throughout the
Are these like only in collector boosters? Are these like serialized? Are there going to be serialized ones? Or like the neon ink Hidetsugu from Kamigawa that was like incredibly rare?
Important to the Oltec.
Look at that cavern.
Substance that
the one and only Kim for the 6 month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Big super review. Thank you. Is it a list card for this set? I know they announced once they go to play boosters, they were going to have these be in the list slot, but I haven't actually seen confirmation that that's how it's going to be in this set, but maybe it is
appropriate to show it off.
They had an intern ironing them out before the video, making sure they're nice and flat.
For those who were around during the last Kamigawa set, this is similar in concept to the Hidetsugu.
Oh, it's like Hidetsugu, okay.
So look for those, but it is, we've got Mana Crypt and the Cavern of Souls, two very powerful cards, Andrew. One of those is legal in Standard, one's not. How's that working?
So Mana Crypt, legal in Standard.
No.
Oh, no. The wrong one, sorry.
Other way.
So it is like the Hidetsugu. So the colors are going to determine the rarity. So like yellow's rarer than pink, rarer than purple, whatever.
It's what we are calling a special guest. So if you followed along with the Play Booster summary or the first look, we talked a little bit about special guests. But Andrew, can you give the folks at home what are special guests quickly?
Yeah, so special guests appear in packs at a very low frequency, and they're going to show off some of Magic's most awesome history. So you'll see some of these cards. One of my favorites, Bridge from Below. It doesn't make any sense, but it's awesome.
Famous history. Okay. Calumet. Okay.
Yeah, so these are 3 more special guests. We saw 3 in the video before this. But the special guests they'll be found on the list. They'll have new art.
So they are on the list.
And they represent some pretty cool reprints.
So I guess that's a reason to get set boosters.
I mean, you got to have a dinosaur.
I don't know if these are that iconic.
Of course.
I mean, Bridge, I guess, kind of is. It's banned everywhere, but it is, I guess, iconic. No one plays in Commander either, do they? What a weird choice.
We touched on in the video
Sharks, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. I have no idea.
Couldn't tell you.
Okay. The box toppers. Yeah, there you go. The treasure troves are the box toppers. Again, reprints with in-world art. These are not standard legal. We saw Chalice and forgetting the other one, but we have 2 more.
You know you make a lot of Magic cards when you don't actually even know the name. I feel less bad. If WotC employees don't know the name of everything, I guess I can feel less bad about not knowing all the Doctor Who Commander names.
Of vigor.
I couldn't tell you.
And Miguel, can you talk a little bit about the concepting of these reprints?
Yeah. So as part of our treasure.
So these
cards,
are the box toppers.
It's kind of a similar vein as our special guest cards. Like,
so they said earlier with these box toppers, any box gets one. Collector boxes, only way to get foils. So draft boxes, set boxes, you get the box topper. It's always going to be non-foil. Collector boxes, you can get a foil
for certain legendary characters. It's not canon, right? It's I think the way that we think of it is for certain artifacts.
Amulet's such a cool card, but it's used in such cards like Amulet are much more fun when people don't know how to use them. Once people figure out the optimal way to use them, they become much less exciting. So they had said
if we're bringing in reprints and we're grabbing new art for it, we sort of think like we want to use that space to show off these motifs.
So they haven't confirmed that they're all coming to Arena.
And let's actually put that amulet back
most
up on
of
the
them
screen.
are.
I saw a couple questions about, wait, is this legal and standard? The way you can tell, it's not. The way you can tell, it has a different set symbol, and then also in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see
it's the LCC.
LCC, Lost Caverns Commander. So it is legal in all
There's
sets.
so many cards.
That Amulet of Vigor is already legal in. All right, now, I know we have some dinosaur fans in chat.
They've been waiting on dinosaurs for so long.
That we have some fans of the set we are about to show off that is part of this.
Oh, is this Jurassic Park?
Let's take a look at the video on the Jurassic World set.
All right, Jurassic World, here we go.
Ixalan is a land with a deep connection to dinosaurs, and we know we aren't the only franchise to have featured these incredible beasts. Luckily for you, life finds a way. That's right, Jurassic World has come to Magic the Gathering. With 26 cards available in set and collector boosters, the classic moments, characters, and of course dinosaurs from Jurassic World are brought to Ixalan. It's an excellent fit for a set focused on discovering things which have been lost. And truly manages to capture the DNA of this beloved franchise, while blending it with Magic the Gathering, creating a perfect hybrid. But if those long claws aren't enough to scratch your itch, Secret Lair has 2 Jurassic World drops crashing into the 2023 Secretversary Super Drop. First up is Secret Lair Jurassic World Life Breaks Free, which features those iconic dinosaurs from your favorite Jurassic World moments.
That is kind of sweet art. I like the
second is
comic
Secret
book
Lair Jurassic World Dr. Ian Malcolm. This esteemed chaos theory mathematician reminds us that some creatures cannot be contained and that life will find its way back out from your deck. Be on the lookout for when those are unveiled later this year.
Dino DNA. Dreadmaws for days.
Chat certainly loves that last one.
Thank you
well,
so
thank
much
you
for
everyone for joining us on this exploration of the Lost Caverns of Ixalan.
Wow.
Previews are going to start. They're starting now. It's now.
Wow.
It's now through next week. They're going to be happening. You're going to see
more
and more of what we showed today,
this
as well
set
as
is
all kinds of cool dinosaurs and merfolk
wild.
And vampires and ways to explore and caves and things to discover. And so we hope you'll tune in over the next 2 weeks. If you want more details, if you want to dive even deeper on anything that you've seen or heard about today, head to dailymtg.com.
Wow.
There's an article on collecting. There's mechanics.
So what are we feeling? What are we feeling about this?
Image gallery
so I'm going to do a spoiler video for YouTube.
Cards that have been revealed so far,
I will also I'll pull up the cards as soon as I end this, and we'll go over them. We'll look over the TLDR
Miguel
before I go to the
Andrew
YouTube
for
video.
Joining us live for this very special debut.
I'm just trying to make sure they don't have a sneaky.
And I
Here's Black Lotus.
One last time to our good friend Stephen Remorris, and we will see you next week.
Come on, something sweet. Go out with a.
The Lost Caverns of Ixalan will be available for pre-release on November 10th, on Arena and Magic Online on November 14th, and available everywhere on November 17th. If you want to read even more of the story, make sure you check out the web fiction online now. There are so many exciting things to discover in this set. I can't wait to get my hands on these cards. And that wraps things up for the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. We hope you've enjoyed this journey, and we'll see you next time.
Wow. All right, that's a preview stream. I will say, I got thoughts. Okay, stream done. So I will say, I like that. What did you think of that style of preview stream? I actually kind of liked it. I liked. Some of the last preview streams were so fast that I couldn't really soak up any information. They just like card. I like that they actually took time to talk about things. I will say this set blew away my expectation. I thought this set would be powerful to make up for the fact that the first one was not that powerful. This is way stronger than I expected it to be. So I'm going to go to a YouTube spoiler video, so definitely like check that out in a while. But here's my quick TLDR. First, the most shocking aspect of this is they essentially made a cascade mechanic in Discovery, which is very, very similar to Cascade. In some ways, arguably an improved Cascade, because they made it so it's even less likely to whiff on. That is absolutely frightening. Like, they actually are doing an entire Cascade mechanic. Cascade is such an incredibly strong mechanic that's so broken in so many formats. So I'm absolutely shocked that there's a Cascade mechanic. They really seem to pull out this stops with reprints. $50 Gishath coming back. Caverns of Souls coming back. Growing Rights, another $20 card coming back. So they're really doing a good job with the reprints. That's exciting. We got to see all the new mechanics. Cascade mechanic, I think, is probably busted. The Descend mechanic, that's the one I most like. It seems fun. Like, Micro Tyrant is a cool card. I like the card Micro Tyrant. It's a neat design. Micro Tyrant's the 3 mana fungus lord. Or not lord, but payoff. The Micro Tyrant, 3 mana Golgari, legendary elder fungus. Trample, power and toughness equal number of fungus and saplings you control. And at the beginning of your end step, you create X1/1 black fungus creature tokens that can't block, where X is the number of times you descended, which has had a permanent go into your graveyard from anywhere. So it's going to be very interesting to see. I am not sure if this is absolutely broken because graveyard mechanics are broken, or if the fact that it's restricted to permanents are going to make it hard. But imagine, like, you play this, you play a Satyr Wayfinder, you self-mill, hit some lands, hit some creatures, like the Urborg Lorgoyf style deck. Isn't this like a ridiculous mechanic in a deck that's built around already like self-milling and filling your graveyard? We got to see like Soul of Lost Harvest. It's power and toughness equal to the number of permanents in your graveyard, toughness +1. So this is like really, really strong. Like, sure, there's an initial cost, you got to sack something, but that's fine, or discard a card. So I don't know, I'm coming around on Descent. So I think the Discovery mechanic busted, Descent I'm coming around on, and then map tokens is Explorer like we thought. The other mechanic was was what? Oh, this one, the craft. Craft just seems like kind of a cool mechanic. It's a new way to transform. So you have to exile an artifact and pay an amount of mana, and then you get to transform. They mentioned in the preview stream, not a lot of instants and sorceries in this set. Because of the descend mechanic, they're trying to do everything, or many things, with permanence instead to support the theme of the set. So we're going to see like artifact removal spells like this, rather than spell removal spells. Also, if you want an expensive card, Azure Tech, this card's going to be super expensive, right? 6 mana, 6/6 God, triples your creature token production. I guess maybe it's safe because it doesn't work with treasures or whatever. Now we can actually evaluate Quintorius Con. That's the last one. So we didn't know what Discover was. So this is 5 mana 4/4. When you cast a spell from exile, you gain 2 and 2 to each opponent. +1 make it 3/2. Okay. -3 discover 4. So you cast this for 5. You immediately -3. You cascade into something mana value 4 or less. You cast that for free and you trigger its static ability. That's not bad for 5 mana. This is 5 mana cascade essentially, right? Like it's a planeswalker that's 5 mana cascade. That's the floor of it. And then you get this ultimate that you exile everything and cast everything and just go off and combo off with the static and win. Where's a spoiler page on the website? So it will be up here shortly. There's too many sets. That's a problem we've run into. So it will be up here shortly. For now, if you go to MTD previews or if you go to the homepage and then go to like Fallout, you can just you just have to change the set right here and go to Lost Caverns of Ixalan. So, but it will take its place on the homepage up here as soon as it updates. So what do you think, chat? Where are you at? Where are you at with this set? Doesn't this set seem ridiculous? Hey, what's up, Mega Magic Carp? How are you? I love the new veto. Yeah, the new veto is cool. Free sack outlet. I like even the uncommons in this set. They went all out. Like I feel, and maybe I'm being too hasty. Maybe I just really love Magic and I get too overexcited about everything. I think this is going to go down as one of the maybe the set of the year as far as standard sets. I think this is going to go down as the set. Everything we've seen about this, mechanics are strong, reprints are great. The art is actually blowing me away. The art is way better than I expected. Way better than original Ixalan, which had good art. The art is like amazingly good. The cards look fun to play. Like everything about it. Like I don't have really at this point anything negative to say. Art good, reprints good, value good, mechanics super strong, cards look fun to play. Like it's hit all the marks. So I was expecting it to be good, but this literally hit everything I'm looking for in a Magic set based on our early preview day. Like every single one, from the art to the power level. Isn't Discover highly abusable? That is a concern. I think Cascade is, the question's going to be how do they price it? That's going to be the question. If there are ways that it can be controlled, it will be broken. So I will say, looking at what we have from Descend so far, this is good use, or Discover so far. This is great use of a Cascade mechanic. It's Cascade 10. Like, there's no controlling that. You're going to cast this, you're going to get a random card. That's awesome, that's fine. I'm more concerned about, like, cards like this. Like, this is essentially another Bloodbraid Elf. We already see Bloodbraid Elf showing up in Modern, cascading into Up a Beanstalk. Isn't this just another Bloodbraid Elf? Essentially, you lose the haste, but its ability is the same. So what I'm worried about is Discover cards with low mana costs and low Discover numbers. Those are the ones that are going to be a problem, because those are the ones where you can always hit Rhinos. You can always hit a Beanstalk. So there is certainly, if there is a concern, it's that Discover is going to be busted. Like, that is, I think, a realistic concern. It is also, yeah, monocolored Bloodbraid. So that is a realistic concern. There is power level concerns with Discover, but overall, I kind of love this set so far. I can't, they put Printing Cascade lands at common. Or do any of you play Pauper? Do these just like absolutely warp Pauper? They have to, right? Pauper is so much about grindy card advantage. I imagine this isn't a land that sacks to draw a card. This is a land that sacks to let you cast a spell for free from your deck. That's better than drawing a card. I imagine, sneakily. Oh, maybe we don't have it up on the page yet. I don't think it's been uploaded yet. There's just an uncommon Orzhov legendary free sack outlet. I think it's a 2-mana 2/1 that just lets you sack a creature or artifact to put a counter on it. Might be the most impactful card for Constructed that we've seen today. Maybe, I don't know. Discover is so busted. This set looks absurd. Anyway, everyone, I could sit here and keep rambling, but I need to shift my rambling. to the YouTube and do a spoiler video. But this set looks amazing. I'm so incredibly excited for this set now. I thought it was going to be good, and it is way better and more exciting than I thought. So anyway, everyone, it's so cool. It's so cool in every way. Anyway, everyone, reminders on the way out the door, and I'm going to go do the YouTube spoiler video. Are you excited? Because this set makes Urborg. This is it's going to happen every set. Every set I say it's going to make Urborg Lurgwave work. The Descend mechanic, it's got to be the one with the Myco Tyrant, and it's gotta. This has got to be the one. So reminders, replay YouTube, normal YouTube. Check out the spoiler video in a couple hours. If you need to order any of these cards, you can snag them from Card Kingdom over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. Y'all are amazing and awesome and spectacular. And I hope you have an amazing day. Oh yeah, also, I gotta ask you at some point, there's gonna be a bonus stream in 2 weekends because I'm doing a charity stream for Ultimate Guard, doing some historic brawling charity tournament. So you're gonna have to help me pick out a historic brawl deck. But at this point, I gotta scurry off and do a spoiler video. I love y'all. Have an amazing night. Have a great afternoon, and I will see y'all soon. Enjoy the spoilers. Check out the YouTube. I love y'all. See ya.